What's up, guys? Welcome back to Kind of Funny's Batman in Review. That's right. We are ranking and reviewing every theatrically released Batman movie. As always, I'm Tim Gettys, joined by the big dog, Kevin Coelho.
Look at him. He looks crazy. I love it.
How's that any different than normal?
Andy Cortez.
That's my CEO right there.
The producer slash seducer in a new room.
Yeah,
Nick Scarpino.
Wow, new room, Nick.
I
don't know.
Camera angle.
Before we go over to my room, which it looks amazing, and thank you to everyone, and especially Kevin who got me all this gear, and Tim who got me all this stuff. It looks great, awesome. What I'm more just putting a pin in that. What I'm more disturbed about is how good the makeup is. I don't know if that's like makes him crazier, that it's spot on. Or you know what I mean?
No,
like
I mean, I think
what forehead where it's kind of wiped away.
Yeah, but I feel like what it is it tells you how cool the makeup was in the Joker, where you have to imagine that Greg literally just went like this with the white makeup till it was rubbed in, and that's what the Joker did. And
for audio listeners, we do have Greg the Joker Miller.
Hello, Tim. How are you?
I'm good. I'm really enjoying your short sleeve shirt, which is just awesome.
Yeah, show us the gun show there, because this.
I don't have many purple shirts. It turns out, so I had to throw on.
Oh, you can't see it on the stream. You have to go like this. There it is.
Yeah, there it is.
Yeah, it's a casual Joker. You know,
it's the Greg Miller interpretation, isn't it? I mean, it's very much like Into the Spider-Verse. Anybody can wear the mask, right? Yeah. You just have to put it on and say "fuck the world." That's all it is. That was the message of Into the Spider-Verse. That's the message here. Andy Cortez, kindoffunny.com.
I picture this Joker like refilling his coffee and like, oh hey Beth, how's it going? Good.
Yeah. This Joker is definitely on time for the 10 a.m. meeting.
Yeah,
sure. He's got places to go, things to do.
Semi-future spoilers, but it's reality, so it kind of gets weird. But Joker is the only character to win 2 Academy Awards for Best Actor, like the portrayal of that character. So we have 2 different actors that have won Best Actor for portraying the Joker. Is Greg going to be the third in this in review?
Right
I don't know, man. I'm feeling pretty good about this. I'm feeling good about this because this is in review. Like Greg I was saying, you can watch it live.
Why do you wait for Tim to talk and then you start talking, Tim?
Twitch.tv/kindoffunnygames, or you can watch it later on youtube.com/kindoffunny or roosterteeth.com. If you want to listen to it, we're there as a podcast. Just search your favorite podcast service for Kind of Funny in Review. We'll be right there. If you want to get the show ad-free, patreon.com/kindoffunny is where you want to be. Just like our Patreon producers, James Davis at James Davis Makes, Andrew Feisner, and making his debut, we have a third gentleman, and his name is Jeremy Zuccarello.
Yeah.
What do you got for me? Jeremy Zuccarello.
First off, easy. Zuki's good. Zuki, that's amazing.
The Zookeeper. Can we do that?
Zookeeper. Oh, wow. Yeah, that's good. That's good right there. Let the animals out. Let the animals out.
We built a zoo.
A little housekeeping for you. Extra Life is happening this week. Community stream hosting starts Friday at 1 p.m. Pacific, and ours starts Saturday, November 7th, 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. You can go to kindoffunny.com/extra life to sign up or donate. Whole bunch of shenanigans are sure to be had. Very exciting stuff. We're going to be streaming a bunch of games. We're just going to be hanging out. It's going to be a good time. So we'll see you there all day on Saturday. But today, we are talking about The Dark Knight. Now, before I even get into it, I just want to put a little PSA out there about this show in review. We've heard the feedback. We've been talking about a lot of the stuff behind the scenes and with you guys about this show. We're trying to get a format that's a bit more consistent going forward across all the different shows. So for the rest of Batman, we are going to not do all of the podcasts within a podcast. We're going to save the majority of the ranking things. The ranking the Batman, the ranking the Batmobiles, the ranking the Alfreds, the ranking the Robins and the Jokers and the this and the that's, all that stuff we're going to keep for a final bonus episode after Batman in Review has concluded. Greg Miller from Kind of Funny.
I'd like you to show the respect it deserves and call it Rockin' Robin.
We will save Rockin' Robin.
Can we hear the theme song one more time for Rockin' Robin?
Oh, sure. Sorry. One last time. A send-off. You know what I mean?
One last time. The worst Joker laugh. I am calling that one right now. Oh, yep.
Yeah, there it is. Thank you. Super loud.
It's so loud.
Goodbye, Rockin' Robin. We hardly knew you. We'll see you in a few weeks. I don't know how many goddamn Batman movies are left now.
Now, here's the thing. As a little Bat fact to go along with that Rockin' Robin intro. In one draft of the script, a reference to Robin being related to Rachel Dawes was considered. The character of Dick Grayson was not explicitly mentioned. However, Rachel Dawes is revealed as being a relative of the Grayson family. Christopher Nolan had it removed because he didn't want to build up hope about Robin appearing in a future movie.
That was smart.
Yeah, I agree.
Especially how much they fuck it up next time around. No future spoilers.
No future spoilers. God, I can't wait for today. Let's stay in the moment, everybody, because we're talking about The Dark Knight, released on July 18th, 2008. Ledger died on January 22nd, 2008, some months after he completed filming and 6 months before the film's release, from a toxic combination of prescription drugs, leading to intense attention from the press and movie-going public. All of Ledger's scenes appear as he completed them in the filming. In editing the film, Nolan added no digital effects to alter Ledger's actual performance. Nolan decided to dedicate the film in part to Ledger's memory.
That was one of those moments, man. Like I think I know obviously most of us, if not all of us, probably watching it, lived through it or remember it to some extent. But I remember like that was a moment, the first time at IGN where like time stopped, where it was like a full stoppage of like, I remember it was the old Brisbane office with the giant high desk and somebody on the guide side shouted it out. And it was like, what? And everybody was immediately just dead quiet in the office and on the internet trying to figure out what was going on. And then we all had that moment you have where you feel like an asshole because we were all like, wait, does anybody know? Are they still filming stuff for that? Like,
where you were selfish, like, wait a minute, did they finish?
We had that a lot lately, I feel. And it's not even, I don't go into the realm of selfishness as much as it is like, how much everybody's looking forward to that performance. That's what you do kind of thing. You know what I mean? But it was that, and you still this day, you wrestle with that of like, when a celebrity dies and you're like, wait,
Carrie Fisher,
we're working on something. Yeah, Carrie Fisher, even Chadwick Boseman, stuff like that. You wonder, there's definitely, we saw with Chadwick, obviously a bunch of people who went the wrong direction, I think, in terms of trying to get SEO and URLs and stuff like that. But I remember that being such a fucking holy shit moment, let alone the fact that this then came out at E3. I remember it came out during E3 and like there was a bunch of IGN people who went to see it at midnight. And I didn't because I had people to see it with when I got home.
I saw it at midnight. That was crazy. Yeah, I know. The sad thing, well, that was the one that we saw that midnight showing. I think we've told the story, but that was the one where like
the fire alarm went off.
Yeah, the fire alarm went off, and I was like, "What the fuck is this movie so good? It's like creeping into real life." The sad thing about it is that he just never got to see it all, and that's what really kind of bums me out. Is that like Sean Connery just passed away, and that's sad. But Sean Connery lived a full life. He was 90 years old. He had done a lot of great movies, a lot of not so great movies, but never forget The Rock. What up? And all of the
what the fuck? The Rock, great movie.
No,
that's what I meant. Never forget The Rock. That's a great movie. The Rock,
and
The Hunt for October,
League of Extraordinary Gentlemen.
League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. We don't talk about.
Fantastic movie.
Talk about that movie.
10 out of 10.
It was such a weird place in time because it was MySpace that was sort of taking over the news, and like that's how I was kind of keeping up with it because I was looking at all my friends' statuses being posted on MySpace, and it just kind of like points you at like what was happening in the world at that time and where we went for our social media news.
Yeah,
and this was one of those midnight viewings that me and my friends went to when we had just moved to Austin. And again, this is that movie that we watched, we're blown away by, and then we were like, "Oh wait, his next movie's about espionage inside of dreams." Like that was like, this is kind of like that big introduction to Nolan, where we had The Prestige and stuff like that, but The Dark Knight was really the movie that kind of like, oh shit, this guy's on another level right now.
So once again, directed by Christopher Nolan, music by Hans Zimmer and James Newton Howard. The Batman theme is heard only twice in this movie, as composers Hans Zimmer and James Newton Howard decided that a heroic theme that a viewer could hum would overlook the complexity and darkness of the character. Hearing the tune only twice would create what Zimmer calls a musical foreshadowing. God, they're cool.
Do you know which moments those were? Because I think one of them is the SWAT team moment. I think you hear that where he like kicks the guys out. He does the little weird with the rope and then kicks him out the side. So cool. And I think the other one was when he kidnaps the guy from China.
Is
right?
it the end?
Yeah, I feel that's right.
Oh, maybe it is the end. God, you mean the world's best ending?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's
it. Ever. Yeah. God.
There wasn't there a shooting involved in one of the movie theaters when this first came out?
Yeah, kid with the red hair.
Yeah, I think that was. If I remember correctly, though, after like some stuff came out that it was less about. And it was unfortunate because I think it was less about the Dark Knight movie and just about it just being he just wanted the theater that was full, right? Like I don't think it was that he was specifically like, I'm doing this movie, like targeting
Chaos
this movie
Joker.
specifically. Yeah, I think he just was unfortunately.
People in chat are saying that
disturbed
was Rises.
Yeah, it was.
Oh,
We were
right.
talking
Oh,
about the
sorry.
Aurora shooting. Aurora,
Yeah.
Colorado was during Rises with Bane.
But yeah, I don't know. I'm sorry to turn it back. This movie is amazing.
So a budget of $185 million, a box office of over $1 billion. Batman Begins made $373.6 million. So think about that. That is a ridiculous increase. It made more money than Batman Begins' entire domestic run in only 6 days of release. With over $1 billion in revenue, it became the highest grossing film of 2008, the first comic book movie to reach $1 billion, which think about that contextually. That's insane.
Crazy.
And it is now the 47th highest grossing film of all time. At the time of release, it was the 4th.
God, that's insane. That's the crazy
Right?
part. Is that
Cool.
these numbers
Marvel.
are just gone and gone and gone. Yeah, Marvel.
Man, crazy
That's
shit.
Superman,
That's
too.
the Marvel effect taking over. I saw a really cool interview, just like a little snippet with Christian Bale, sort of on a red carpet, and them saying, "Hey, what do you want to say to Robert Pattinson now that he's taken over the role as Batman?" And he was like, "Oh, just make it your own." He was like, "Go fuck." Oh, I'm thinking of the quote. I can't think.
I'm trying to do a scene here with Bryce.
Oh, good for you. Yeah, and he was like, Robert Pattinson, you make it your own. Don't worry about what the haters are saying, because when Heath was cast as Joker, all the backlash was there, and nobody believed that he could ever do this role. And look at it; it's one of the best roles in Hollywood history. You know, and
I would have told him.
like that's so true.
I would have told him to make sure he can breathe through his nose, because it's very awkward when you're trying to scream and emote and act, and you clearly cannot breathe through your nose. The people of Gotham, I can't prove you wrong.
Nick, you mean how his upper lip looks like when you get out of the water with a snorkel on?
Yeah, exactly.
You got like the
Here's the thing. Here's the thing about this movie. When you get into the minutia, there's so many bad elements of it. But those just prove how good the movie is, because you get to the end, you're like, that was phenomenal. That's legitimately one of the best movies ever made. But some of the fight scenes, some of the performances, and some of the way this movie's edited leave much to be desired. Overall, again, I think I would put this movie up as being one of the best movies ever made, period, full stop. Not just one of the best Batman movies. I would put this like top 10 on my list of greatest movies ever made. There's the Ballad of Ricky Bobby, and obviously,
of course.
Daddy's Home.
Heat.
Yeah, Daddy's Home. For sure.
What's the Heat movie? What's the Heat movie?
Yeah, you got the
Heat.
Yeah. And you wouldn't be alone, Nick, because in terms of awards, this was the comic book movie with the most Academy Award nominations at 8, before being beaten by Joker in 2019, which had 11. At the 81st Academy Awards, The Dark Knight won 2 awards, Best Supporting Actor for Heath Ledger and Best Sound Editing. It was additionally nominated for 6 others, Best Art Direction, Best Cinematography, Best Sound Mixing, which... Are you fucking kidding me?
That's crazy.
That is the worst thing about this movie by a long shot. Yeah, I can't. How did they get nominated?
You don't like the fact that you can't hear Gary Oldman 90% of the time when he's talking?
Why? Specifically him?
It's awful.
I think it's just because he has a delicate performance, and Christopher Nolan's like, it's fine. And I think Christopher Nolan doesn't like doing ADR. I have a theory on that. I think he just doesn't like going back and re-recording the dialogue for any of his actors. So he just lets it go. Because if he did do ADR, I'd be like, could you please go back and redo Christian Bale's like everything he says in the Bat costume? Just everything.
There's no way they couldn't like boost it in post. Like that seems like that was a choice of like someone was like, hey, can you check the audio, make sure everything's good? And he was like, yeah, I checked it, it's great. And it's like, but did you really?
Maybe he has bad hearing, because all of his movies are like, I honestly think this.
Chris, we need to update. No, it sounds perfect to me. Fuck you.
Because like I remember watching Interstellar for the first time. And granted, it was all just depending on theater, but it was so loud at times and then so quiet at other times. I'm like, I don't think that this is within the realm of like acceptability for theater goers.
Interstellar had some major problems with their audio, right? Where like the IMAX version had like the best audio, right?
That's where I saw it. It was not great.
All of it's just the dynamics are just so ridiculously off, and it's upsetting because what's being said and like the music is so good, but when it's so unbalanced, it's like You get distracted by having to change the volume every like 5 fucking seconds. Anyway, also best visual effects, best makeup, and best film editing. In spite of the film's critical success, the film was noticeably absent from the Best Picture nominee list, prompting controversy and leading many to criticize the Academy Awards for snubbing the film. There was speculation that the Academy and later changed their number of Best Picture nominees to 10 instead of the traditional 5 because of the film's omission. In a question and answer session that followed the announcement, the Academy's then president said, "I would not be telling you the truth if I said the words Dark Knight did not come up."
Yeah, they should have given this movie Best Picture.
Absolutely.
What won that year?
What one? Yeah, what one do we remember?
2008 best.
Because whatever it was.
I'm going to say Amelie.
This was the same year that
There Will Be Blood.
This was the same year that Heath Ledger beat Robert Downey Jr. from Tropic Thunder.
Was he nominated for that?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Robert Downey Jr. got nominated for Tropic Thunder. Yeah.
How do you
No Country for Old Men.
Okay, well, fuck, that was a really good movie. Yeah,
It's a damn good movie.
Really good.
I'll
Is
shut the
it
fuck
though?
up.
It's never done anything for me.
No, I mean the thing is, it's a great No Country for Old Men. It's a phenomenal movie. It's very fatalistic. It's very dark. But this movie specifically, and going back to sort of the other Joker that won, which was Joaquin Phoenix, right? Joaquin. That Joker, that movie, and it's future spoilers.
No future spoilers.
But
No
it
future
is a
spoilers.
distinctly
Just do it.
It's a distinctly different film. What I think why this movie is so important and why it's so good is that it manages to be an incredibly compelling story that is about Batman. Well, actually, I would say it's more about Joker, but it still fits in the Nolan universe and still feels comic booky. Whereas the Joker doesn't necessarily do. I think they wanted to make a more serious film that wasn't based really in comic books at all. And that's why I think this movie is so important and pivotal for the genre.
I agree with you 100%. Don't get me wrong, but that's why the bad scenes you talked about earlier, I think, stand out more in this because you are lulled into this movie, and I say lulled. I mean, it's nonstop. How long is this, Tim? I'm sorry, I forgot already your runtime unit.
Yeah, 2 hours 32 minutes.
I mean, like it flies by. Yeah, this is this is one of the few movies I own on Blu-ray, and watching it again, and it's been a few years, but watching it again, when we started amping up to the conclusion, fuck, we're really moving. I can't believe it's gone this quickly. But it is those things of the movie is so well done that it's obviously been memed to shit, but when fucking Harvey wakes up in bed and looks at the Joker and he's just got the mask on and there's no reaction, and then when he peels off the mask and Harvey freaks out holy shit, that's the Joker. It's what gave it away the first fucking time you looked at him? Those little moments, and even Two-Face / Harvey's Two-Face side, right? Being so over the top and so you won't take skin grafts. And Jen's he would die immediately.
He would 100% die of a massive infection if half of his face was exposed to the elements.
Tim, Nick earlier mentioning that obviously I don't know if Tim, are we done with the facts?
I mean, there's a million facts. A real quick fact I want to just remember what you're saying. I want to jump off of what Greg was saying. Nolan designed Dent's scarred appearance in the film as one of the least disturbing, explaining when we looked at less extreme versions of it, they were too real and more horrifying. When you look at a film like Pirates of the Caribbean, something like that, there's something about a very fanciful, very detailed visual effect that I think is more powerful and less repulsive. Framestore created 120 computer-generated shots of Dent's visage. Nolan felt using makeup would look unrealistic as it adds to the face, unlike real burn victims. Framestore acknowledged they rearranged the position of bones, muscles, and joints to make the character look more dramatic. But after looking at a whole bunch of different options, they were like, this is what it has to be without looking too real, but still feeling grounded.
That's
amazing. I think it's wonderful.
Yeah,
I thought the scene,
dope.
I kept saying last night, this is from 2007, you got to assume is when they started the CG on this, the posts on it. I think it still holds up incredibly well.
Definitely.
The lighting is so convincing, depending on what room he's in, where the source of light is coming from, and it all just sort of shines kind of on not only the dead skin but still the fleshy parts. God, it's so freaky, and I can't stop looking at it. Go ahead, Nick, from Kind of Funny.
I watched Gemini Man 2 nights ago.
Hell yeah, you did.
And first off, enjoyed the shit out of it. I can't believe you guys fucking even had any one critical thing to say of that movie. Having said that, oh my God, the face stuff is so off-puttingly bad. It takes you out of it so fast.
I thought it was cool.
So fast. It's so bad.
Were we really positive towards that movie?
A year and a half ago. What's that?
Really? I think we were really positive towards that movie, Nick.
No, you guys did that thing sometimes where I can't tell if you're kidding just to make me watch it, and then you go, "Ah, you fucker, I told you."
No,
So.
I legitimately enjoyed a lot of aspects. The action in that movie and the 120 really frames fun. In theater was wild.
That I didn't see, but I'll say this, like to Andy's point, that was one of the things Dee said. She was like, "Wow, that Harvey Dent face stuff really holds up." I don't even know how they did it. It's pretty spot on. There's maybe like one or two moments where like the left side of his jaw is not quite moving right, but I really have no context because I've never seen someone missing half their face go about their business. But I think
it holds up so incredibly well, and I think it only falls apart when you think about it. Where it's like, oh, why does he have an eyeball like that? Like, like why is it perfectly down the middle? It's like because it's a movie and because he's Two-Face. Like,
or where
there's a certain concept, like you have to do that to make it work.
There's a couple of things in this movie that after watching it a bunch of times, I finally watched it this last time a little bit more critically. There's a couple shots in this that I'm like, why would that be the way it is? First off, why would they save his suit? Wouldn't they just throw that out? Where'd he get the other half of the suit? They needed the suit to be like half burned down the side. I'm like, what? I don't know. There's that. There's a moment.
I mean, it's when he got put into the hospital. You know how it is when you get get admitted to the hospital. They take your clothes off very gingerly and carefully and hang them in the closet there, for you.
They don't cut them off of you just to save your life. Hey, B, there's a moment where somebody, when they first put the Joker in the cell, somebody's taking knives out of their pocket and putting them on the table.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
but the Joker's in the cell. So did somebody take all of his knives off of him, put them back in their pocket, just so that they can then take them out of their pocket and then delicately arrange them and show you the
when you're arresting, the first thing they do is check your pockets, right?
Yeah.
And like in the heat of the moment, they're not pulling out the little specimen.
They took off his coat, right?
But did they take out? Because it looked like someone was wearing the coat. It looks like someone's wearing a coat and reaching into their pocket.
No, I think that they just had put it in their pockets because they needed to store all these knives because he had a lot of them. He really liked.
And then, of course, the other shot that always kills me is. It's a beautiful shot, but it's the shot that always breaks my brain because I'm like, who is driving the cop car? I don't understand how
you see it this time on Blu-ray. I was watching for it this time because I know we had an argument about this before. You see a head right there.
Really?
Yeah, get a better TV.
Who is it?
$7,000 TV, Nick.
It's one of the many crooked cops that works there or whatever. I mean, like if we're gonna again, when you start wanting to wade into like how the realism of the movie then works against it, when the bomb goes off in GCPD out of the fat guy that Joker sets off, everyone is knocked out except the Joker.
Yeah.
Well, and it's like, wait, why? And like, I mean, knocked out to the point multiple floors away, right? He goes to get the accountant dude who's quite good at calculations.
That's one of those things, though, I love. Like, again, these are minor gripes. This movie's amazing. That scene, I thought that same thing where I was like, how come everyone got knocked down? But it's such a cool visual with him just being the only one standing and his hair like.
Of course, no, it's fucking amazing. I mean, cool. Visually, it's awesome.
And it's same with the car where it's like, my first thought was like, who the fuck's driving the car? It doesn't matter because him hanging his first off, why is he sitting in the back seat? Because he's the fucking Joker. Of course he's sitting in the back seat where someone could just literally lock him in, but they just him hanging his face out like a wild dog is just such a fucking great visual.
We've gone too long. Andy, hit the song.
Oh shit, guys, fuck my memory. Oh my god. Batman Begins to the Dark Knight. It's Gotham's finest secret delight.
No, I was just looking for the plot song. Can we do the plot? The movie opens with a bank robbery.
I just wanted to say one more thing, like, fucking God.
Are we doing Secret Delight? I got the.
This is
your
podcast.
Thing.
Hold on. Stop Secret Delights. Andy, what were you gonna say?
I just wanted to say really quickly, going back to when we did Batman Begins, and I mentioned that the movie's so good, you just kind of, brush away all the shit that makes no sense, because Nolan does that a lot in his movies where things happen and you go, that doesn't make sense, but this is so great and the music's awesome and everything's cool, so like who gives a shit? And there's that the moment later on with Batman jumping out the window and saving Rachel and they land they do the Fast and Furious car land, and then I'm sitting there, I'm like, so the Joker's still up there with all those people, huh?
With all of his goons.
The movie, and the scene ends and we move on. I was like, all right, well, what's the resolution there? Like, what happened?
They ate all the rest of the hors d'oeuvres.
But it's like, whatever, the movie's great, and Hans Zimmer is just on another level as always, and everything he does just heightens every scene, and it's perfect. Plot time.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to The Dark Knight, Christopher Nolan's second Batman film. We open with the scene that, of course, was the teaser. Nick, you remember what this was put in front of? It was an IMAX. You could go see it. I forget. It was something where you could go see this. Like
I don't, but I just remember that
this
when you watch this on IMAX, filled up the whole frame, which was fucking awesome.
That was the big deal about it. I remember.
This is one of the things shot in like 65 millimeter IMAX.
Yeah, actually, you can cut me off there. I got some stuff for you. This is the first major feature film to actually use IMAX and like IMAX footage in it. Writer, producer, and director Christopher Nolan had wanted to shoot in IMAX for years, thus using this movie as his opportunity to do so. 6 major action-heavy sequences, along with various high-altitude shots, were filmed on the IMAX ratio, featured 37 minutes of IMAX footage, and my God, it looked fantastic.
We open in an unusual part for Gotham, the daytime, because there's a bank robbery going on at one of Gotham's banks. And so we see a bunch of people in clown masks doing it. And then slowly but surely, they all start killing each other because, of course, they've all been told by the boss to kill the guy that's doing the job, that's doing the thing. Meanwhile, though, so they kill the roof guy and they kill the alarm guy. And they make the line of like, hey, this call is not going out to 911. It's going to a private number. Is that a problem? No. Boom, ices him. Ping pong. I'm sorry, Nick. Ping pong.
A little detail I kind of forgot about. Like it's those little lines you always kind of forget. And this scene, I would say, a lot less cool this time around for me.
Really?
I thought it was awesome.
Oh yeah.
Because every clown sounds like a shitty Grand Theft Auto NPC.
Yeah,
like
true.
all of their
boy, the boss is mad at this.
Yeah, it's very cartoonish, and I think it's like obviously they're wearing masks, so you have to see like who's talking, and you have to see like them emote and move and shit. But all the lines of dialogue from the little clowns all sound kind of crappy.
I will say though, there's a moment in this that I don't think I ever picked up on before until watching this last time, where the guy gets electrocuted by the bank vault, and when it cuts back to him, he's using his shoes. I was like, oh, I don't think I ever saw that. This is cool. Yep. I also want to give a shout out to, I think his name's William Fichtner, who is, of course, we know him from Teenage
Shredder.
Oh, that's where you're gonna give him the shout out?
Yeah, it was a joke. He's also amazing in Heat.
No, if you're gonna give that guy, because he's one of that guy roles, you go to Armageddon. Remember there when he's astronaut? That's what I jumped.
I'd like to shake the hand of the daughter of the most brave man I've ever met. And she's like, okay, that's me, I guess.
I guess that's me. My dad's dead. Fuck off. Yeah. So anyways, back here though, it's
So, what? Sorry, I also wanted to say that there's just something I guess I'd never caught, like, and that's always bothered me was the fact that like they're all just, okay, I'll kill this guy without thinking ahead of like, oh, someone's gonna kill me.
Yeah, exactly.
And there is the one guy who was like, I guess you were probably told to kill me.
No, I killed the bus driver.
Yeah. Oh my God, which is such a weird thing to miss because it's so big.
Bus driver.
Yeah.
Boom. Yeah, that's one of those things when the bus pulls out that I was like, was the guy in front not be like, wait, did that just come out of the front?
What just happened there?
Jen and I had to say the same conversation. The bus behind him's just like, whatever, come on.
Yeah. We're gonna call it, but you gotta imagine he only has to be in that
cavalcade for like a minute.
Yeah, exactly. Like 3 blocks, then you can hit a right, and no one's gonna notice. One dude will be calling the cops, being like, and then it hit a right, but it'll be fine.
That's true.
But like another Nolan moment where the back of the bus should be severely damaged, crashing into the side of the building.
Yeah.
And also
it was reinforced.
And there have been a lot of cars driving by seeing a bus inside of a building.
A school bus. It's not just a bus. It's a school bus, which I feel is one of those things that like heightens the we need to check to make sure they're okay levels, right?
Well, you figure that's the point where they called the cops, right? So because remember the number wasn't going to the cops, it was going to the mob people. Right. So at that point the bus goes through, you got about 30 seconds before the cops are going to go, and that kind of checks out because
you hear them come. Yeah.
Where it's like makes you
I mean they put the same stuff in there. I mean, like we're going to get to it, of course, I mean in the next scene, but like again, Nolan doing the things he does in these movies that doesn't beat you over the head with it, but for nitpickers like us, there's that moment of like, well, what? Like Joker checks the time on his thing. I killed a bus driver and steps to the side. And so then you can be like, well, how would he know those buses are going to be driving by? Well, because he's looking at the time. He talked to the bus driver routes and knew where they were going on this giant field trip that's every kid in Gotham. So there'd be 19 buses outside. And they're all so drunk on the job, they don't care. Another one just drives into it.
Bus drivers,
yeah, you're so right. You're so right, Greg, because this sets up every single clever thing that Joker does.
Yeah, he's always one step ahead, right? I don't know if you understand this. When he tells Harvey at the end that he's not a guy with a plan, he's lying.
Yeah, he
is a schemer.
He's a schemer, dude.
I love that line.
We're gonna get there.
Chasing a car.
We're gonna get there.
I got it. Heath Ledger's performance in this is so
it's so good. It's just insane.
And this is the first part where you get it, right? Where I remember, like, obviously the magic trick in a second on the table will be his real debut. And I remember being enraptured watching that. But like this being even the teaser that we got before of him, standing over the guy from Armageddon and peeling off his mask, right? and showing his true face and that he was the Joker and he was along for the ride and then walking away with the thing in the smoke.
The quote where he's like, "What doesn't kill you makes you stranger."
I hated that.
It's just off-putting and weird enough. I love it because it's unexpected. It's not like, to me, that's set up that this is a very different Joker, and there's a million things that do that. But I liked that it felt not Joker enough, like from the traditional Joker we've known, where it's like, okay, this must be fucking weird, and I'm not going to be able to expect what he's going to do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I guess that line. Amongst all of his lines, like I think is like the worst. I think that's like the worst thing that Joker says in this movie, where everything else is like, I don't know. I just love Heath Ledger's performance, but that seems like something that Jared Leto would have tattooed on him.
I like it, but I think you're right. I mean,
it's just cheesy enough.
there's a moment where, and I think you guys probably know this, but when the guy's reading, I think it's Anthony Michael Hall's reading the note, where he's like, I will kill one person, and you can hear Joker in the background, like reading it too, like just like reading some of the lines with it. That little nuanced thing, it's what you do when like your kid's doing something and you're having a good time watching them do it, and so you're like talking, through it with them. Just so fucked up and deep into that character was he.
Heath Ledger directed those scenes.
Did he really?
The interrogation, or like anytime it was like the weird video stuff, he did it, and every single take was different. And Nolan was just like, it was the first take for that one. Where he's like, we got to go with this. Like, this is so good.
It's so good.
It also gives us the origins, of course, of Timmy and Tommy Nook from Animal Crossing. How when you go into the shop, obviously Nook's cranny, and they talk to them, and then I think it's Timmy always says the last line again, just like Joker does in this thing. Yeah, welcome.
I don't understand that reference.
It's a good one. You would really enjoy it, but you only like to play Warzone. If you can't get out there with your FPSs and your 60 frames a second and 120 gigahertz, you're not having a good time. Am I right?
Yeah. I'm right.
Hell yeah.
I also like your traced out body outline in the back there, whoever you killed, Nick. Anyways,
the couch is going.
yeah. From there, like I was talking about earlier, right? We get a taste of some of the Nolan stuff where we're taken to a parking garage where there's a drug deal going down, right? And guess who it is? It's Scarecrow himself,
so
right?
Cool. I love it.
Right?
I
Professor
don't
Pink.
like this scene.
Yeah.
This is one of those. Because first off, I hate the blocking. I hate his weird fucking thing that he has on his arm for no reason that seems to only have one purpose, which is just to randomly cut a hole in a fucking car.
And it bends the end of the gun. Remember, that's what I was getting to, where he grabs the gun and bends it down. You're like, how the fuck would he do this Superman move? And then the next scene, you see him go, and cut into that.
But
spoilers is not going to be payoff next time.
I like elements of the scene. I don't like that they've chosen to make Scarecrow this. Scarecrow was like this top tier, like a really scary guy in the last movie, and in this one, he's just a random drug dealer.
No, I think it's totally in line with Batman, especially with how it ends, with him kind of just being sent off. Like, he's not a top tier guy. Like, he's kind of fucked up and crazy.
I said they'd take you places.
I feel like, okay, so
if you wanted to go.
Let me back up. I don't think it's not that he's top tier. It's that he was so important and scary and nuanced and like deep in the old, and like he was a 3-dimensional character in the other one. In this one, he's just a random goon. I'm like, oh man, they did Scarecrow wrong.
But I mean, it turned out he was a random goon, right?
What's that?
I said it turned out he was a random goon, and I think like
before he was like the emissary for Ra's al Ghul. He has this incredibly important role, and he was like super scary and running shit in Gotham. And now he's like, I got a van. My cousin's helping me sell some weed out of it.
I just kind of feel like that fit. I also don't like it, Nick, but I also do feel like it fits the fall from like
the fall from grace.
Yeah, exactly. That he had.
For sure.
I love the scene
it
because
builds
I
the
love
cinematic universe.
It brings Scarecrow back as it builds the cinematic universe. I think it's totally believable from how he would fall from the first movie, being a lowly drug dealer. Like, that's so cool. And I love that the introduction of all the different Batman, of the fake guys coming in. Because the first time I watched this movie, they got me. It was one of those like cinematic moments where I'm like, what the fuck is happening? Why does Batman have a shotgun? And I think that the way that they kind of like add it all up, like bit by bit by bit, reveal it all, and then have the actual Batman come and how Scarecrow's acting about it all, like there he is. I think it's just such a great intro to a movie that just had an amazing intro.
I'll say this: I agree with the Batman stuff. I love the other Batmans, and I love that it culminates in that last line. I don't wear hockey pads, even though it annoys me because Andy, what kind of pads are they wearing? That's right, catcher pads.
It's like a catcher. Yeah, gotcha.
What I don't like is that. So this is the start of some of my gripes of the film. One of which is I don't understand why they have Batman entering and exiting the way he does in literally every single scene. The camera just pans over and he's just standing right there. Whereas in Batman Begins, he's all constantly coming from above. He's coming from the shadows. He's coming from somewhere else. This movie I think they were like, we've got so much story to tell. We can't really focus too much on the blocking of how the action's going to go. So let's just have Batman just standing over there, and we'll just put the frame here. And then when we
isn't this the one where the Batmobile fucking pancakes 100%. In intimidate mode, or then goes?
Yes, but he's not inside of that. He's just standing randomly by a person.
Yeah, distraction.
I get it.
I'm with Nick on this.
Hand combat.
Especially
there's never a moment where he comes breaking through the fucking glass in this movie and like scares people. He's just constantly like. There's another like a moment 20 minutes from now we're gonna get to where he was like, it's Gordon,
for lucky,
Harvey Dent, and fucking Batman, and they're standing on the world's smallest rooftop, and Batman doesn't say a word for like 15 minutes. The camera just kind of goes around, and if I were Dent, I'd be like, can he hear? What the fuck's going? Can he not hear through the thing? Like, what's happening?
Why it's the same thing. I think the more glaring thing of like when you want to do this and have break it all down is like when he enters the party. Oh, if you're a little bit of fighting, I like that. You're gonna love me. And they cut to the wide shot. It's so like, did he just like push through the party people? He's just like
100%. That's a perfect moment where it's like you're on the rooftop penthouse full of glass. Give me one homage to Tim Burton. Have him fucking break through the glass above him. The lights go out.
No,
smoke
that's super
popped,
dangerous though.
Glass, and boom.
There's hella people around him.
So is randomly walking up, and by the way,
no, there is
everyone's like this, and hoping to God the guys with guns behind you don't know how a gun works, and they just try to hit you over the head with it over and over again. Because that's every single fucking time he fights anyone.
He's got armor though. Like he's
he takes one shot to the abs and goes down.
Yeah,
we're not there yet.
I know we're not.
You guys didn't think it was gonna be a 5-hour podcast. You were crazy.
Bank's over. Scarecrow thing happens. I'm not wearing hockey pads like we always said, right? He's inspiring people, but the wrong way. We get an update on Gordon somewhere too, where he's on an MCU Major Crimes Unit. They've got got a whole thing on the wall where they're looking for Batman.
Some poor naming, huh?
MCU.
Yeah,
it's great. Homage.
Oh, I see you mean. Yeah, okay. I of course went to Metropolis, and I was like, I guess I don't think they're trying to reference DC's long lineage of other history. Yeah, so there we get set up too. Of course, like Ramirez is there, Wirtz is there, and they seem like shitty cops. And guess what? Spoiler alerts, they are. They'll be outed as shitty cops later on. Meanwhile, then we follow back up on the bank robbery of the mob bank. We get there. Gordon's there looking around with Ramirez, right? And then boom, Batman's in the bank vault with them. He's like, what's going on? And it's the irradiated bills. Batman and Gordon have been running this whole thing, trying to take down the entire mob. And it's like, whoa, how are they going to do this? That's nuts. And he's like, yeah, it's, it was me and Batman and me, Gordon, Gonzo for Gordo. That's what it's all about here. That's how he talks. When he goes home and he talks to Barbara. Also, how uninventive is it that Barbara Gordon and Jim Gordon had a daughter and a son, and they named them Barbara and Jim? Like, oh, fucking come on.
That's hilarious. That's great. They're both juniors.
Junior, man.
Jeez Louise. Paula can go hang out with him one day. You know what I mean? Rimothy too. And so, yeah, that's the plan. They're going to do the thing. Great. Congratulations. But it's time to bring him in. It's time to tighten the noose. It's time to take down the mob. Let's get in there. We're going to have to bring in this new DA. He's pretty awesome, though. And Gordon says something. Batman disappears. And this is the same thing when I was watching with Jen when Batman disappears from the vault. I'm just like, imagine the other shot of the hallway where Batman's just quietly running down the hallway.
Well, earlier we were talking about how there were all three on the roof in that one scene with Harvey Dent, Gordon, and it's like Gordon is clearly looking at him disappearing, right? Because they're standing. Gordon's off to the right. They're both standing together. You have to imagine.
There's a deleted scene where it cuts to his perspective, and Batman goes. Jumps out the ring, like,
doing this to him. I'll see you later. I got the signal if you need me. I got some things to do.
So funny. I gotta go to Trader Joe's.
I'm just shocked he runs away. Like, oh, that's how he does it.
Yeah, it's so funny.
Batman finally goes home. Well, he doesn't go home, actually. That's the whole bit. Alfred, goes to the bedroom. He's not there. Then he drives out to this, shipping container in the middle of nowhere. Takes the cool elevator down to the new cool Batcave. That isn't the Batcave, but it's a Batcave.
Oh, it's the fucking dopest shit. That room is just such cool design. And it's awesome. I love how something could be over-designed and under-designed at the same time, because that's a perfect example of this. It is so ridiculously bright and so just fucking cool. And I love how everything's just hidden in compartments that just kind of pop up, and there's just like one lone Kevin desk in the middle of this giant empty thing that Alfred just hangs out at. So tight.
Batman stitching himself up because he got bit by a Rottweiler. We skipped over that when he was fighting with the Scarecrow's folks and the other guy who has the Rottweilers. My dogs are hungry. So then, Alfred helps there. He talks about inspiring people the wrong way because they're all dressed like Batman and hockey pads or whatever. And he's like, but maybe this Dent guy will be good. From there, we go to friend of the show, Eric Roberts' trial, Nick.
Hell yeah. Just great in this character. You can tell he was having a good time filming this movie the entire time. You know what I mean?
We have cool friends right now, available everywhere. Podcast services, youtube.com/kindafunny. Watch Nick Scarpino talk to Eric Roberts about his role here in The Dark Knight as Sal Maroni, a mob boss who is on trial in the court. There's some 2-bit hack up there. Basically, like, it's not the guy who runs the operation. It's like one of their little underlings, right? It's like if Tim was on trial, but Kevin was on the stand. And so fake Kevin here says, you know what? Like, oh, no, I was the brains of the operation. And first off, too, by the way, we introduced that we got Harvey Dent there as district attorney, and he's late to the thing. His assistant or whatever, his partner is Rachel Dawes there. They have a romantic relationship, and Harvey has a coin he flips, and he says he doesn't leave it up to luck when he looks like he's leaving it up to luck, but it's because, spoiler alert, it's actually a double-sided coin. Nobody's ever noticed this before, that he always wins every time he flips a coin. Nobody thinks that. It's crazy. Anyway, so he goes up there. The guy says, no, but I'm Kevin. I'm the brains of the operation. Everybody's like, Kevin, you're a fucking moron. There's no way you could be the brains of the operation, right?
It's like a blessing.
And he goes, I got a sworn affidavit. And he's like, I got a gun. And he goes to shoot the gun, and it clicks and it fails and stuff. So Harvey grabs it and he punches that guy. He turns around, he takes apart the gun. He's like, Glock made in China or whatever it is, and throws it down. Next time you want to kill a counselor, I suggest you buy American. And everybody applauds in court, like, yeah, that's fucking dope.
That's a cool thing to say. That's a cool thing to say.
It's fucking, this whole scene's dope as shit. And they drag out fake Kevin, and he's like, but Judge, Your Honor, I'm not done with my questions. It's like, oh man, Harvey Dent's the fucking man. You know what I mean? I'm not even Rachel Dawson. I would just say whatever you want, Mr. Dent. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely.
They leave out. They establish they're in a romantic relationship there. If you're not doing your job, if this is Gotham City, if you're not, they're not trying to kill you. You're not doing your job right. Ha 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 ha. From there, Harvey goes back to his office, meets with Jim Gordon, brings him in. He's like, Jim, you named your kid Jim and your daughter Barbara when your wife's name Barbara? What the fuck, man?
We're not very creative folk.
You know what? We're simple people. We're blue collar. My dad was Jim before me. His dad was Jim before him.
His dad was Barbara.
What I mean? And I guess that's the thing is, like I talk a lot of shit here, of course. I'm Greg. My dad's Greg. My grandfather was Greg. But that's just one side. I think it's weird when you have the wife as well. And I'm not saying it's like a gender thing, but it's just like for both
it's
to be named.
Confusing. It's confusing.
I think technically
both of your kids like
we don't know that the daughter's Barbara from this movie, from this universe. They just don't name her.
Yeah, it's
ever.
true.
Do they not? I thought at some point
they don't say
saw a
shit
caption
about
or
this
something.
daughter.
We have
she's just there.
Not only that, but at
his
the
wife
end, he was like, at the end,
Who
he's
do you
like,
love most?
I'm gonna kill who you love most, and they take and he's like, don't hurt my son, and she's like, what about me? He's like, I don't care. Don't hurt my son.
Nameless daughter.
Wait, at one point,
You don't even see her face.
the wife speaks, and it says Barbara. So like,
we know the wife's Barbara.
No, I know.
Yeah.
I'm saying, but like that's the only time Barbara was in the caption. I was answering your question earlier.
My question
so
is, the daughter's
never-
name Barbara was ever referenced.
We don't
Yeah,
know. That's
and
what Kevin
I'm
said.
saying
It's
no.
the only person
It wasn't
referenced
referenced
is
in
the wife.
the.
Got you. Thank you very much.
Yes,
Thank you very much.
that's
I'm on the same page now. We're all having a great time.
He's agreeing with you. Please take your shirt off. Thank you.
Which one?
Which shirt? Jesus
Please go to McDonald's like that just today. Put the wig on and go. Please.
All right, so
yeah,
anyway,
San
back on
Francisco.
track,
It's a normal thing.
That's all been established. He goes back to his office. He meets with Jim Gordon. Harvey's office is packed with files and stuff because he's actually a hard-working man. He is what Gotham needs, it turns out. And so Jim's a bit standoffish. He doesn't want to let him in on his pie with Batman because he loves having this pie all by himself. And he doesn't, when more people you bring into an investigation, the more chances are it's going to go wrong or whatever. And they got these irradiated bills. You want all these search warrants on these banks, but you won't tell me anything about it. And he's like, I can tell you the name of the banks. And he's like, listen, you and Batman got a pie business going on, and I'll back it. I want to be trusted, though. I want to be brought in on the trust circle of trust after this. And Jim's like, whatever. Especially the other name they called me down there. And Gordon's like, I don't know anything about that. And like, of course, you uncreative fuck, just naming your kids the same exact thing overall. Again, one kid named the same, fine. And we are canonically saying that Barbara is Barbara. All right, that's what we're saying here.
Deal.
That's not creative. Andy, can I get a ruling on that?
That's true.
Thank you. One kid, totally fine. Two kids, all right. We got to talk about creativity.
I feel like that's cool. What would they have done for the third kid? Mix their names.
Oof. Yeah.
Mix their name.
Jimba.
Jarbra.
I got him anywhere. You combine them. I'm happy you went there.
All right, so from there, like Harvey and Rachel go to a nice dinner, and it took me months to get a reservation here. And then, sure as shit, as soon as they get seated and look at these fucking prices in Gotham City, one and only Bruce Wayne shows up, and he's got a woman from the Russian ballet there, and he's like, "Oh, well, you're here, and you're Harvey Dent. I've heard about you. Let's put some tables together." I don't think you can do that. Oh, we can. I own the place. He does this fucking thing, and it's like, that's cool. And this place seems like my kind of place. So I'd like to go drink a martini here. You know what I mean?
You wouldn't.
So they sit down.
Margarita from there.
No.
They
would make a terrible spicy margarita. They're guaranteed.
No such thing.
Oh.
Okay. You know what? I rescind the conversation. You're right. All right. They sit down, and of course, as every conversation in Gotham goes, it turns to Batman, and so they're all talking about Batman. And Harvey's very much all about Batman, and Bruce Wayne is not about Batman because he is Batman, and so he's like saying all the same. Guy dressed as a bat clearly has problems. But like, in the Russian lady's like, who elected him? And Harvey's like, we did, by our inaction, by us letting scum rise to the top like this. We're as much to blame for the Batman, and he cleans up our messes. And now, only we're and Bruce is like, you know what? I was talking some shit about this guy, but this guy is fucking cool. And right there, he's like,
of his jib, yeah,
exactly. He's like, Harvey, I like the cut of your jib, and I'm gonna throw you a fundraiser. And he's like, I don't go for re-election for 3 years. He's like, no, with pals like mine, you'll never need another fundraiser in your life. And it's like, fuck, man.
That is the coolest, most Bruce Wayne thing anyone has ever said as Bruce Wayne ever before.
But also I'd be like this. So do I just put the money in an account? How do I?
Yeah,
that's how it works.
Yeah, just save it, man.
Yeah.
Prove you're good with money.
Also,
you always have a re-election campaign going.
Bruce, I'm worried about the taxes. I don't really know how those get filed. Like,
it's like I got a guy, and when you get my tax guy, you'll never need another tax guy.
100%.
The thing about this that I think that Christian Bale, in this scene specifically, there's a lot of scenes that he plays quote unquote the douchey Bruce Wayne, but in this one,
which I love.
Yeah,
I do, but I think he dips a little into his character from American Psycho here. It's a little too much sometimes, where it's like this guy's not likable at all. But he does pull it out. He does kind of flip.
I fucking really, really dig it because I think it works. Jen had the same thing of like, why is he being an asshole? And I was like, well, no, and it's one of those rare things as somebody who's lived, comics for so long. I know, Tim, you have this with G all the time, where she has no idea what's about to happen in any of these movies. Funny. We could predict or tell you from that. And I'm like, well, no, he has to, because at any point, if you and I were in Gotham having a conversation and I was like, somebody can only be as rich to be, somebody has to be rich to be Batman. Right. And you're like, what about Bruce Wayne? I'd be like, that fucking asshole, that prick, that playboy. Like, yeah. And I think we might have even skipped it already, but there was the scene at Wayne Enterprises where he's asleep in the board meeting where Lau is making the presentation on why they should work together, this Hong Kong guy or whatever. And that'll come back later. But he stands up and him and Lucius have a whole conversation about it. And he's like, yeah, the guy sucks. The books don't check out. And he's like, all right, cool. And he's like, you knew this. Yeah, I knew this. Hey, can you make me a suit where I can turn my fucking head and not get bit by a dog? Sorry, Nick. Yeah.
It's just one of those things where he hams it up so much and he's such a prick that I start to wonder, I'm like, if I were Harvey Dent, I would question why the love of my life was friends with this guy. This
they grew up together.
Like, totally irredeemably shitty. And she's like, oh, you don't know him. He's just, well,
he does take a lot of shots at Harvey. Like, even when he's sitting there initially, you know what I mean? And then even when his speech, but then he turns the speech into, I do believe in Harvey Dent.
And that works out. And I get if you're a politician, you got to kind of rub, maybe you don't like every single person 100% that's contributing to your campaign. But it's one of those things where I was like, if I went out with one of my wife's friends and he was just a complete and total prick to me all through dinner, I'd be like, hey, you're okay with him treating me like that? That's a little bit weird, right?
Well, she's like, I kind of feel like that conversation would have happened. Like that's the whole thing with Rachel and Batman's and Christian Bale's relationship in this. It's like, I think that this movie, what it does the best is the dynamics of every single character relate to each other. And it's like when we ever talk about superhero movies or superheroes in general, not even just movies, it's like the most interesting thing is when people's personal lives and alter egos kind of are both working together. And this movie does that on like 7 different levels at all times with the villains and the main characters and the side characters.
Yeah.
Like the reason that Dark Knight works for me so much is that we always talk about the Return of the Jedi scene where at the end there's the 3 planes of action. They're all working together. All of them are equally awesome, cool, awesome things happen. That scene happens in this movie constantly. It never stops. It just, every single thing that's happening, even if it's not an action scene, we're always getting this kind of rise to a fall, rise to a fall, rise to a fall. And it's like, that's all character driven. And I think that's why I always enthralled by this movie and never.
Real quick, if you don't mind me putting on my Joker mask here and fucking nailing somebody in the chat, Clam Veronium says Dent literally brings this up later to Rachel in Bruce's penthouse. He begs her not to turn him down for Wayne because he's a douchebag. Granted, it's just a line or two. Clam, you go eat fucking shit from your girlfriend or wife's best friend at a dinner where you're the fucking DA of Gotham and you're just being embarrassed over and over again, and see if you wait like a week and a half to bring it up. All right,
yeah, that would be a ride home
have in the fucking car. Me and Nick have had these conversations,
but like
usually it's Greg. Why did you say that? You embarrassed me. Why did you dress like the Joker? Take your shirt off.
Yeah. How do we feel about Maggie Gyllenhaal in this role though?
Dude, I wish she'd been there from the start. I like Katie Holmes fine. I think Maggie, maybe it's just what she's given to work with here, is just more three-dimensional. IMO.
I think it's interesting. I'm sorry, Kevin, go ahead.
I was just going to say, I think that we do get a lot more time with her than we got with Katie Holmes.
Yeah.
And because of that, there's obviously more of a character, but I feel like she's just... I don't like how aggressive she is in the role a bunch of times.
Oh, you don't like women being aggressive, huh?
That's not what I'm saying.
Not very 2000.
Don't say that.
Let me read some facts about this. So
2000 was 20 years ago. Time lost all meaning to me.
Very 2000 of you.
Yeah, it's 2020. So many people watching this weren't even alive in 2000. But that's what I jumped to for context, everybody.
Greg, you can't blame this on the quarantine. We haven't been in quarantine for 20 years.
Oh, no, I'm not. I'm just saying. It's fucking crazy.
Even though Christopher Nolan offered her the part, Katie Holmes decided not to reprise her role. Instead, she opted to co-star with Diane Keaton and Queen Latifah in Mad Money the same year. Sarah Michelle Gellar, Isla Fisher, Emily Blunt, and Rachel McAdams were all considered for the role before Maggie stepped in. She has acknowledged her character is a damsel in distress to an extent, but says Nolan sought ways to empower her character, so Rachel's really clear about what's important to her and unwilling to compromise her morals, which made for a nice change from the many conflicted characters whom she had previously portrayed.
So I don't strike her as a damsel in distress. I mean, I know she's put in that situation, obviously being thrown out the window, being tied to the bomb and all that shit. But Harvey is too in a lot of different ways in the same way. I think I do see her as she's a competent DA, assistant district attorney. She's competent at interrogating and playing all those sides of it. And I really do like that when Batman rescues the wrong person and she has that moment of she knows she's going to die. She doesn't flip out. She tries to have that conversation, that final thing of just, it's okay. It's going to be okay. You know what I mean?
That's gut wrenching.
Yeah, it's powerful.
My thing is, I think Maggie Gyllenhaal is too competent of an actor to deal with the material that they gave her in this.
Sure.
So I always feel like she's a little off because I think she's a I think she's a great actor and very deep when she goes into these roles. And this is not a role that I would see her taking. I think it's a little bit more suited toward Katie Holmes. And maybe I'm just a little bit, I liked Katie Holmes in the first one, and I was a little disappointed when she didn't come back for this one. Me too. But I also just felt like she had better chemistry with Christian Bale than they do. I just feel like Maggie Gyllenhaal had great chemistry with Aaron Eckhart, and just zero chemistry with Christian Bale in this. And so the love triangle always felt a little bit weird because part of me, like Alfred, kind of is there to kind of tell him what's what. And if I were Alfred in this, I'd be like, bro, she's over you. Like she's not into you at all. This whole concept of you thinking you're going to leave the Batman behind. First off, we all know you're lying. You're addicted to this shit because it's dope. And second, she's done, dude. She's clearly with this guy. Like they're living together. They bought a dog. Like it's a thing.
Damn, dude.
They're there now.
When he picks up the letter at the end and is just like, oops, never mind.
First off, I'm like, what the fuck is that letter? That's a very important letter.
You would not. If as much bullshit as Alfred has to go through for you.
Hold on, Greg. Nick, what were you going to say? What were you going to say?
How did I start it off? Because it could go either way.
I'm so
I'm so anal retentive when it comes to this stuff. Like, do you ever know how many times on Slack you guys are joking about something and I have to bite my lip being like, don't ask them what this is. They don't want to include you on this conversation. That you're not going to understand this joke no matter what. Just let them have this one.
I'm just saying, Nick, the love of your life gets blown to smithereens, and I come in with a fucking bill from PG&E. We'll see how interested you are when I pick it up and walk out of the room.
First off, I'd be like this. For one, for sure, Alfred, thank you, but I don't want breakfast. Like, I'm not into breakfast right now. Rachel,
he's got to eat. He's got to keep his.
Thank you for the freshly squeezed orange juice.
Got to keep his energy up and get away from the giant open windows. Like, stop sitting there as Batman.
You have to imagine he's got the polarized thing.
No, they're definitely polarized. He's got a million different things going on there.
What a dope
I digress. This is where we set all this stuff up, as we've already said. Meanwhile, Maroney's out of the courtroom and in the back kitchen where they're having a meeting of all the different mobsters to talk to Lau, who's been laundering all their money, who knows this is going on with GCPD. He knows that Dent and Gordon are about to bust into these banks and take all the money. So he's already taken all of the money to a safe spot, which is, of course, alarming to these gangster types. But he's already moved it. He's one step ahead of the game. This is how they're going to do it. This is how they're going to survive this rap. And as that happens, of course, the introduction of the Joker begins. Heath Ledger comes in with his they all want to kill him right away, of course, but he does the magic trick with the pencil, which is just so fucking terrifying such a great introduction of how he would walk in, and everybody would just be like, all right, fucking calm down. This guy's insane. Let's see what goes on. Of course, Joker lays it out that this guy, Lau, is a squealer. He knows a squealer when he sees one, and this guy's going to squeal. There's no extradition in Hong Kong. Great, but Batman has no jurisdiction.
Yeah.
Batman's going to go. Yeah, Batman's going to go after this guy, at which point Lau shuts off his thing. Joker presents his alternative plan that we just kill the Batman. Everyone laughs at him. If it's so good, why haven't you? If it's so easy, why haven't you done it? He says, if you're good at something, never do it for free.
I just love the nuance in everything and just the range that's presented. And one of my favorite parts, it's such a small little part of Heath Ledger's role, but when they go, "You're crazy," and he's just like, "I'm not."
No, I'm not.
No,
I'm not.
like I love like how bothered he was by that. It's just such a great performance.
Right? Of course, the one guy is going to try to kill him. He puts a bounty on him, right? 500,000 dead, 1 million alive, I think.
Yeah,
but something like that. They go to make a move on him, and Joker stands up and has all the grenades. Let's not do anything crazy. He's got a bunch of grenades attached.
Back up, mother's milk.
That's who that guy is. Yeah. You're right. I was like, I recognize him, but I don't know why. No. He says, clearly you're not ready to think about this, so I'm going to leave my card. And he just leaves a Joker playing card, which I fucking love.
Wait, are you talking about Laws Alonso?
Yeah.
Was he in this?
Yeah, his mother.
Yeah, he's the guy that puts the bounty on him.
No, that's Michael Jai White. That's a different actor.
Really?
That's the guy that plays Spawn. Yeah, in HBO.
Spawn. That's who he is.
Oh,
fuck! I knew he was somebody. I could not place him last night for the life of me.
He's awesome. He's been around for a while. That's why it's so funny when I think when I interviewed Eric Roberts, he was talking about like how he was like, I got to do this thing with that guy, and they're kind of like they know each other from like martial arts stuff back in the day. It's pretty cool.
I feel like an idiot.
Yeah,
is it not Mother's Milk? Oh my god,
no,
I don't believe it is.
Well, I'm looking into it.
Yeah, it's definitely Michael Jai White. Yeah,
I think it's Jai or Jay. I don't know how to say his middle name, but yeah. I remember him from Spawn. And then I remember being disappointed that it wasn't Keith David, and then coming to the realization that people get old. Because I was like, oh, Keith David's too old to play Spawn now. And it's unfortunate.
Man, yeah. I saw that movie in theaters, dude. I saw Spawn in the theaters with my dad.
Who would have thought John Leguizamo would play such a good bad guy?
Why do we always gotta talk shit about John Leguizamo?
Was almost the mob guy in this movie.
Oh my god, that would have been his return from retirement, right?
Or death.
No.
All right. So, anyways, he puts the bounty on. They leave. As we said, this was already going off. So Gordon and his men have gone into the vaults, and they find just like a paltry stack of bills, just meant to mock them. Of Arady bills. They kick it. Then they go up to the top of GCPD. Dent and Gordon, and the signal's already on. Or Dent put on the signal, and Gordon ran up there, right? And Batman's already there, and they all fucking argue with each other about this and how this is all blown up, and this is all just a quagmire they're in, and yada 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 yada. Batman's like, don't worry, I'll fucking get him. I'll bring him back. And then he's like, all right, cool. Bruce goes and talks to Lucius Fox, and is like, actually, Lucius has a whole bunch of great dialogue here, right? Of like, I gotta say, for with your normal requests, jumping out of a plane is quite easy to solve or whatever. And he's like, all right, how do I get back into the plane without it landing? And he's like, there it is. And of course, they introduce the Fulton system from Metal Gear Solid, where they'll kick a balloon up in the air and a plane will grab you, and then you're out of there, and you do that high altitude jumps, all that jazz, because we're gonna go to Hong Kong, we're gonna get this motherfucker. I think this is also where we debut the new suit, right? Of like, here it is with the tri-feet weave. It's got these things that shoot out and do this. Nick Scarpino.
And this is the point where I was like, what has Lucius Fox been doing? Like, what is his life? Dude, they should make a movie about him, because he's the most fascinating character in this whole fucking franchise. He's just this guy that knows about ex-CIA tactics and like all this covert shit, and like,
well, he's the archivist, right? So like, it's weird that he went from being the archivist to like running the company.
Well, remember, he was on the board for Bruce's dad, so he was a high up, and then the dude who was in Smallville for one episode demoted him.
Hauer.
Yeah, that's the guy. Demoted him, and then now he's back on top.
Sorry, I just wanted to Morgan Freeman killing it.
It's fucking awesome.
Killing the game.
And like,
the game.
if anyone, like, if I can strive to be someone ever in my life, it's Lucius Fox. It's just like the guy that makes the crazy gadgets. That's my dream. I hope, Tim, someday you're like, hey man, I need to get autoplay.
I need to get onto a plane. Kevin will be
we'll
my
figure
guy.
it out, dude.
The guy
Bye,
for sure.
guys.
I think we might have missed it. Okay, no, there was a little thing, right, where with the Lao stuff, Lucius had told a little redhead fuck in the company to double through the numbers again and look for him, all right?
This
Check
little
him again.
fuck.
Well, I'm going to put it back here, right? I don't care where it goes in the real movie. That guy comes back. He's like, I ran the numbers and did find an anomaly. He's like, oh, no, but the deal's off, which is, again, we're about to get to. And he's like, well, no, it's not that. It's our numbers. He brings out the thing of the Batmobile, right? All this money going into applied science. The R&D team disappears on some government thing or whatever, yada, yada, yada. And Lucius has the other one left. Let me get this straight. You think your boss, one of the wealthiest, most powerful men in the world, dresses up at night and beats up vigilantes. And you want to blackmail this man? Good luck. Tim Gettys.
Fantastic line. This is a weird fact that I saw that I'm like, it sounds weird to me. I don't know how true it is, but Nolan said that the character of Reese is an allusion to the Riddler, who attempts to reveal the identity of Batman. Much like Edward Nygma, whose name sounds like Enigma, Mr. Reese sounds like
Mr. Reese.
Yeah.
What?
Wow.
What?
Dude, that'd be cool if that guy got that rolling. Like Nolan was like, you might plan out to be the Riddler one day. He's like, fuck, that'd be awesome. Thanks, man.
Yeah.
And he's like, no, we're gonna get
Thanks, man.
Yeah. I don't know how do you say thank you. You know what I mean?
Thanks, man.
From there, the guy who was Spawn is playing pool, and they're like, hey, some people killed the Joker, and they want the money. And they bring in the body, and they put it down, and they pull off things. He's like, yeah, that's all right, 500 dead. And Joker jumps up, and those guys turn out to work for Joker, and like, and they grab guns, and they put the other guys with their guns in their head, and like, Kevin.
How did he not laugh? I feel like if I'm pretending to be dead and someone looks at me,
Kevin, you can't do this. Kevin, you can do a lot of things, but you pretending to be dead, especially if I'm carrying you, because you know I'm gonna tickle you. I'm gonna tickle you just a little bit.
No, Nick, don't tickle
This
me.
is the other great one, right? We get the first of what'll be, 2 or 3? Well, he tries the third. The first of how he got these scars, right? Explaining that dad was drunk and came home with a knife and fucked him up, and why so serious? And then why so serious? Boom, kills Spawn. Then he has this other thing. You're like, we're a small, organization, but aggressive expansion. Breaks the pool cue, tosses it down, and says, there's 3 of you basically, but we have 1 spot open. Who wants it?
Just everything he does is just. It's just so good, man. Like, that's just another tiny little aspect that you kind of forget about. But the fact that he's going to make 3 people fight for 1 person's position is just, it's so fucked up. And it's perfect. And he walks away. It's like, all right, let me know when you're done. Like,
yeah, make it quick.
It's so good.
Meanwhile, then we get our whole Hong Kong soliloquy, where they've got the cargo plane. It's under the low radar. They say, "Have we come up with an excuse for Bruce Wayne?" Oh yeah, and Michael Caine's so proud. He's like, "Oh yes, sir." And it's that then it's Maggie and Aaron Eckhart showing up for the ballet, but it's canceled because billionaire Bruce Wayne's taking the entire Russian fucking ballet on.
Again, another argument waiting in the car.
Why do we hang out with
this guy?
Yeah.
He's such a dick. That's clearly a slight toward me. It's not a slight toward you. It's definitely a slight.
He
toward
knew
me.
when we were gonna go see them. I was very excited. I told you, and then he made fun of me for liking ballet.
I like how much money you make. It's okay that you don't make that much money.
Yeah.
Oh God.
So yeah, that's the deal. He's over there.
I like how much money you make.
Tell them to put on their own bloody sunscreen kind of thing. The plane goes. Bruce goes. They go to Hong Kong or whatever. Morgan Freeman's in Hong Kong because he's going to personally say no to Lau, which would have been a phone call, but of course Bruce needs him for purposes of distraction and to do. See, hold on a second though. That's my thing. You say drop the cell phone. Doesn't he surprise him with that when he comes back and gives it back? He's like, fucking sonar.
So he had 2 phones, right? He had the one that he was supposed to drop off, which was, I assume, an EMP, and then he had another one that was shooting sonar scans of the whole building. Yeah, so that's the one he's like, this one's a surprise. The one that you wanted me to plan is already planned. Because he walks out and he's like, I already have my cell phone. You must be mistaken.
I know all of that. Yeah, so you're saying Bruce Wayne knew about one of the cell phones.
Yes.
That was going to be an EMP device that he uses to get in later.
This is where I don't like. This is what Andy was talking about earlier, where it's like a lot of Nolan stuff. I feel like just don't think too hard about it. Follow the logical train of events that happen here, right? Okay, This cell phone, which they would easily probably figure out was the device that caused all of the electricity in the building to go out, was given to us by who? I don't know. Let's check the file footage. Oh, clearly Lucius Fox. Who does Lucius Fox work for? A fucking billionaire Bruce Wayne, who just stole our CEO, Lau, Batman. Maybe they're the same person. I don't know. Like, there's too much of a trail of evidence here where I'm like, this is a bad plan. We should.
But I like how that's what you jump to. Like, if they're so authoritarian to take your phone right there, and then you are talking to the man at the top, and then your phone beeps for some reason that you like. I know that was for us to understand that he had two phones, but like. It beeps, and that guy's like, you're not supposed to have, I forgot I have it. Well, funny, we're taking that now, and we're probably going to keep, and you just turned us down. Yeah. We're probably going to hold you in a cell for a little bit and figure out what the fuck's going on. Because, run the tape back. Yeah, you gave a phone to, like, that's more of my wheels on it.
That's the thing. Like, when he walks out, and the guy's like, sir, he goes, sir, your phone. I remember you giving me this 5 minutes ago. And he goes, nope, I have my phone. I'd be like, okay, everyone.
You're not supposed to have that.
That's the thing. You know, anytime you interact with it, like,
a million people are walking through here. People are busy. It's like TSA, man. It's like
people
like they're not really paying attention to all this shit.
A million people are walking through this building, this random building, and Morgan Freeman walks in, who happens to be the CEO,
the actor Morgan Freeman,
the biggest. You know what I mean? It's like this incredibly important person walks in. Of all eyes would be on this guy when he walks into the building.
That's what I'm saying. That's where you get more leeway, where it's like, oh shit, the CEO of Wayne Corp has another phone that he didn't think about. That's fine. They're like, just get out of here.
Maybe, but I'd be like, dude, this guy, I mean, it's corporate. I don't know. It just, that was one of those things where I was like, the for sure the security guard got fired. Also, and maybe they fined him a little bit for that. Because that was,
I always read it as there's just like such a divide between what Lau's doing and like the rest of the company. Like, I don't think that whole Chinese company is like corrupt and evil. It's just like,
bro, they fucking let him hide out on the top level, and they like, he's definitely running the whole company. They're all definitely like doing his bidding.
Yeah,
it's definitely one of those things where I'm like, you're never going to get past the security guard desk if you can't realize the guy has
people in the lobby are working on contract. They don't know what the fuck's going on. They're just like, oh yeah, I do this thing and that's it. Like, it's loss prevention at Best Buy. Like,
I'm just saying. Well, not only that, if somebody, if I'm just, let's move on. It's not worth it.
Thank you. Real quick. All right, so everything that we just said happens, and he turns him down. A phone call would have sufficed. Mr. Wayne didn't want you to think he was wasting his time, or accidentally wasting, or purposely wasting your time. Oh, he's accidentally. That's a good one, Mr. Lap. Morgan goes down. He gives the phone to Bruce, explains the sonar shit like a submarine. And from there, he's like, good luck. This is then we cut to Batman, or actually Bruce Wayne up there with no mask on top of a giant building in Hong Kong, puts on his mask, takes out his little grenade launcher, goes, bloop, 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 sets these things for 2.5 minutes on the window. Fucking dope as shit, right? And then jumps off like the fucking crazy ass baddie.
How far away was he?
So far.
He was so far away. Like the gun that he shot the glue stuff with, like I feel like with the force that was coming in, no way it doesn't shatter the window.
Nah, that's why they're
either shot out the window or you shoot it and it hits the second story window, not
right?
The
way lower than it should have.
And he knows what he's doing. Nick, what's your question? What do you got? Nick had your hand raised.
I was gonna say one of the coolest things they do in this movie though is they show the tech on him, and that's one of the things I always like. Like, you see in multiple shots the grappling hook like it's a gun sitting on his belt, and in this one you see it stacked on his back, and I'm like, that's so fucking cool that they just wanted to add that little bit of
sound design also of just these little things flying, hitting the window. It just sounds awesome, and there's no way we could question his accuracy when he's able to shoot a grappling hook at the end and catch the Joker. Like, this guy's insane,
great point,
dude.
That's
great
fair.
Point.
He's a head.
Batman jumps off the building, flies around the building, smashes into the window. You know, the EMP thing went off. Everybody's in the dark. Lau's freaking out. Batman beats the shit out of some of the guys, grabs Lau, has him, backs over to the window. The cops show up. They see fucking Batman here. They just broke into a Hong Kong building, took out all these guys. They've got, Lau pinned down. He's backed up in the window. The bombs go off. Batman shoots behind him with the grappling hook Fulton device. Then the plane swoops in, gets him. They all get yanked out of there. From there, we're into Gotham City. Lau's on the doorstep of the GCPD with a sign that says "Deliver to Lieutenant Gordon." From there, he's into the interrogation room with Rachel giving him the business, and she's asking a bunch of different questions and trying to get him to cooperate, and he won't. She's like, "Well, good luck in fucking county. Like, even the fact that you're here, people are going to assume you're working with us. You might as well work with us." She leaves the room or goes to leave the room. He stops. He says he can turn over everything. I'm quite good at calculation. He's got names and everything, tying them all together into one big pot. She leaves in the other room. Of course, Harvey puts together this could be Rico. She walks in. Here's Rico. She's like, Rico, that's a great idea. You hear Rico like 19 times all of a sudden out of the blue. Everybody understands Rico now. That's how we're getting everything.
Do you not know Rico?
Huh?
I said, do you not know Rico?
I did after this movie. I didn't know before this movie. And not this viewing. I knew after seeing it in theaters in 2008. Anyways, they agreed they're going to do this. That's great. So they then go, Gordon then goes to where our friend is having, Eric Roberts is having dinner with a bunch of the other mobsters. And the one mobster who had the dogs is like, all right, we got to bring in the Joker now. We got to have him kill Batman. Like, he was right. This is the right way to do this.
I'm going to call it out right now. Andy, hit the music for Gotham's Finest, please.
Batman returns to the Dark Knight. It's Gotham's finest secret delight.
Secret delights.
I think it's just Eric Roberts, straight up.
He's great.
Like,
Wow.
every time,
I agree.
Yeah, there's some issues with his character, like later when he breaks his ankles and then like is totally fine after. It's
he has a cane.
Tim, he just has very strong ankles.
Dropped off, like that was just a weird thing to me of like Batman dropping him off, like it's not going to kill you. It's like there's a lot of luck involved in that going the right way.
He could crack his head.
There's so many things that can happen. But regardless, I think that there's just a look to him of just like, especially when you compare him to the mob boss from the last movie, and you're just like, God, this guy's just so much better.
Yeah.
So anyway,
Eric Roberts
he was my secret delight.
I appreciate that. I unanimously agree with you. So then, we cut to everybody in court and the judge reading off a million different things. And at one point when she's flipping through, reading off the 527 counts of larceny or whatever, grabs a Joker card, is like, puts it down and keeps reading. And then did you have any statements to make? And they turn the camera and it's all the criminals like, blah, 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 and they're all screaming and shit. And I was like, oh my God, this is great. From there, we cut to the mayor's office, who was the guy from Suddenly Susan or whatever, that show with the woman from Lagoon. I'm forgetting the name of that
Lost.
show.
He wasn't Lost.
Yeah, but he was in Suddenly Susan first with what's her name?
Susan.
Star of Blue Lagoon.
Susan.
Nick, help me out here.
What's
Brooke Shields.
Brooke Shields.
Brooke Shields. There it is. She has nothing to do with this other than this guy. He's the mayor, and he's like, I don't know how you got any of this to happen. Like, all these things. It's Gordon and Eckert in there. Oh man, you're gonna get all these people tossed out, and it's gonna happen. Blah blah blah. And he's like, listen, it's great because, sure, the main guys make bail, but the other guys are caught in the system forever. You get 18 months or whatever he says of clean streets or whatever. He's right. He's like, oh, it's pretty fucking good. Okay, blah, 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 blah. So from there, then, good job on that. We're proud of you. Wait, while they're talking, the dead Batman in hockey pads gets tossed out and slams into the glass or whatever, right?
Terrifying.
I felt bad about this guy.
I don't.
I mean, especially when they go then to we get that happening, then we get it in Bruce Wayne getting ready for the Harvey Dent fundraiser, and on TV is the report about this from Anthony Michael Hall, whatever, weird science, that has the video from Heath Ledger's Joker having kidnapped this guy Brian. Right? Are you the real Batman? And it just has that amazing look at me. Look at me. And then he does look at me. And I remember being in the theater and and I can hear it on my soundbar as well, but jarred. Totally, because it is this like I'm look at me, and it's like the way it like locks in, and Brian's performance of looking at him is so good, right? And basically, now that Joker's on the payroll for this, he's like, "This is the deal, right? I'm a man of my word, and people will die every day until the Batman reveals his identity."
Scary, such scary stuff,
Yeah.
When the thing hits the wall, the glass, you're just like, "Oh my God!"
Totally,
like, it almost made me pee my pants a little bit, which would make me need to change my underwear. Ladies and gentlemen, this episode is brought to you by MeUndies. MeUndies believes that comfort is about more than what is touching your skin. It's about feeling comfortable in your skin. You're a total badass, and what you wear should only accentuate that fact. MeUndies truly believes in empowering self-expression. Their pledge for 2020 and beyond is called MeUndies Gives, an initiative that supports those who have systemic barriers to their self-expression. By shopping MeUndies, you support causes such as LGBTQ plus communities, mental health and well-being, and women's rights. MeUndies offers classic colors to ridiculous prints. It's all so you can fully express yourself in your own unique way. I just got some with some koalas on it, and they remind me a lot of the sexy koala that kind of looked like Nick. And man, that's a lot to take in. But there's some Harry Potter ones coming out. Greg's really excited about. MeUndies believes you and your butt deserve more comfort inside and out. That's why there's the MeUndies membership. It's really a great way to love on yourself. MeUndies has a great offer for you guys. For first-time purchasers, you get 15% off and free shipping. MeUndies also has their problem-free philosophy. If you're not satisfied with any product for any reason, they'll exchange or refund it. No caveats, no questions. MeUndies.com/morning. That's MeUndies.com/morning to get 15% off your first order and free shipping. Also, this episode is sponsored by Blue Chew. Let's talk about something we could all use more of right now. Sex. Great sex. Guys, now you can increase your performance and get that extra confidence in bed. BlueChew.com. That's blue, like the color blue. Blue Chew brings you the first chewable with the same FDA-approved active ingredients as Viagra and Cialis. You can take them anytime, day or night, even on a full stomach, so you can be ready whenever an opportunity arises.
I see what you did there.
Yeah. Well, one of my good friends actually has been using Blue Chew for a while, and he is super happy with how it works because he was having some issues, and those issues are things of the past now. Blue Chew is made in the USA. It's prescribed online by licensed physicians, so you don't have to go to the doctor or wait in line. It's even cheaper than a pharmacy, and they prepare and ship it right to you in a discreet package. No awkwardness, and you don't need to leave the house. Right now, there's a special deal for you guys. You can visit BlueChew.com and get your first shipment for free. When you use the code FUNNY, you just pay $5 shipping. That's BlueChew.com, promo code FUNNY to try it for free. Blue Chew is the better, cheaper choice, and we thank them for sponsoring this podcast. Remember, that's BlueChew.com. Use promo code FUNNY. Back to the plot.
Yeah, let's see Kevin run in here to say, there it is. Look at him. Look at his little legs go. Yeah, you know what I mean?
Tiny leg.
Mouth shoveled with food, drinking hands, scurrying back in to get the shot back up.
Yeah, that's a good segue right there, big dog.
Yeah,
I agree.
Best
out of
we've
10.
rated.
Great,
Thank
but
you.
not perfect.
Appreciate it.
Great,
Guys.
but not
9 out of 10. It's gonna be hard to beat.
All right. Went for my glasses and I'm not wearing them. Batman, like I said, watched all this on the news. Then he climbs in his helicopter because he's coming to the Harvey Dent fundraiser. So the Harvey Dent fundraiser is going on at this top of this. It's not. Is it his house? Because he's getting helicoptered in from somewhere else.
Yeah,
we saw him watching the.
He's got more than one houses.
Yeah, it's his
Okay.
penthouse.
Well, it seems like Nick and Kevin are saying the same thing, but differently. But it doesn't matter.
Bruce Wayne's penthouse was shot on the ground floor of an office building in downtown Chicago. During the daytime, the same space was redressed and used as Harvey Dent's press conference.
Beautiful.
That's amazing.
A lot of this is shot on location
really
in
cool.
Chicago.
Conference.
Anyways, Harvey arrives at his own fundraiser, and he is super out of place. Obviously, and Rachel calls it out, of course, that he can take on all these mobsters, but it's going to be these blue bloods that are giving him a hard time. And so he's like, oh, yeah, this, that, and the other. And then, no, not yet. Then there's a loud noise, and it's a helicopter, and it's Bruce Wayne arriving with 3 different models, we assume, beautiful women dressed in different colored outfits. I don't know why I thought that was important to tell you.
Beautiful word.
That is what I was like. Key information. There's 3 women, different colored outfits.
Yeah,
They're very bright colors. Bruce walks in, gets a drink, and immediately launches into his campaign speech about Harvey Dent. He's like, when Rachel told me she was dating Harvey Dent, I said, the guy from those terrible campaign ads?
Again.
I believe in Harvey Dent. Come on, Harvey. But then I met Harvey, and I saw the good he's been doing in the city, and I do believe in Harvey Dent, and that's why everybody's here, and we should all take care of him. Yay, and everybody's cheers and stuff, shits. So then, they start mingling around a bit, and so Bruce goes outside and throws his drink over the edge. He's not going to drink champagne. He's Batman. And then Rachel comes out.
Drink, come on.
And she starts, he's got to keep his head clear. Rachel comes out, and she starts talking, and, is this where we start the first time we talk about a day could come and it could be Harvey's that light and like I can take off the cowl and he can we started that whole fucking thing. And that's when Harvey comes out and he's like, can I borrow Rachel for a second? I'm burping a bit, you know what it is. You gotta
recap
go.
Juice.
I need some recap juice like nobody's business. It sucks we do these at 11 a.m. now. You know what I mean? Way harder to explain to the old ball and chain while I'm passed out here, puking up everything I ate. You can only say stomach bugs so many times.
Can't take you to the hospital.
Must have been the lunch.
that we're about to have. Yeah.
All right.
There it is.
So Harvey brings her back inside. They get into a conversation where he's like, basically, let's get married. Let's flip for it. And she's like, let's be serious. And like, all right, let's be serious. And she goes, I don't know. And he's like, and I don't know is basically a no. Tell me it's not that Bruce Wayne guy. He sucks. And then Bruce comes in and chokes him out in the middle of it and drags him out. Awesome. Why? Because there's a second point of action that I've completely ignored just to tell you about the penthouse. Yeah, Nick.
So, okay, how does that conversation go after this? So what happened to me again? Oh, I guess
Joker's men got you. Joker's men grabbed you.
Yeah. That thug came up and choked you.
Knocked you in the head.
Why didn't they take me out? Why didn't they just drag me out there? Because that's what they were looking for, right? Oh no, they wanted to
throw me out of a window
first and just mingle.
Yeah, he didn't ask her anything because she got thrown out of a window and got caught by Batman. You know what I mean? Like she was definitely in the hospital, even though she was fine from the fall.
Maybe like a week later,
but it's one of those things.
Again, for me though, how did I get choked out? How did I get a perfect rear naked choke on me?
And then what really probably would have happened is Joker's still up there talking to everybody once the whole scene is done. And then the closet starts let me out.
It's me, Harvey Dent.
Yeah. But he choked me and put me here for no reason.
He's here. What does Joker do after this?
Instead, what happens is, like I had said, a bunch of different stuff had been happening, like we were talking about, all the threads coming together, right? And so one of the threads, of course, it shouldn't say that. A card gets delivered to the GCPD, right? That has the commissioner's DNA on it, the judge's DNA, and Harvey Dent's DNA on it. And Gordon's like, these are clues. Go take care of all these people, right? Really I'll get the commissioner. Somebody go for Harvey Dent. Wirtz, you go for Harvey Dent. And then somebody go get the judge. All right, got it. Commissioner gets Gordon gets Commissioner Loeb, who's like, Gordon, you'll probably never have to know this, but when you're commissioner, you get death threats on the daily. I found the solution a long time ago. Brings out a glass and a bottle of whiskey. Maybe was it whiskey? It was a brand I'm not Scotch. I was a brand I'm not familiar with. Meanwhile, the judge gets a knock on the door. It's two police officers. They hand her an envelope. Like, just get in your car and open it. It'll tell you where you're going. We don't even know where you're going. And then, as we'll see, of course, the Wirtz crew, of course, luckily is going to be Joker coming right to it. So Judge,
I love this because
amazing.
I mean, this is another one of those like things that I just love in a lot of Nolan movies. And a million times I've compared it to the Sept scene in Game of Thrones, and I'll mention that every damn time. But it's just where something's happening on one. The Sept scene, where
it blows up.
The whole Sept blows up with the wildfire, the green fire shit, and it's just like they're cutting between different parts, showing you should probably worry about this, and then it cuts to something else, and then suddenly it's like you should worry about this too, but remember that other thing, and they cut back and it just keeps on progressing, and keeps on getting more, and something's up. Like it's just so well done.
Hey, yeah, the judge opens it. It says up, and she looks up, and the car blows up. Joker cards everywhere. Meanwhile, he's like, "How have they even gotten my DNA?" And Gordon's like, "I don't know. A cup. No. And like, it's too late. He's already drank the scotch, and it tips over and does like the dry ice effect. He's like, "Oh God, poison. He's dead." And then Bruce chokes Harvey and tells Rachel they're coming for him. It's all going down right now. Shoves Harvey in a thing, puts a broom in it. At the same time, the door opens. It's Wirtz. He gets pushed out of the way, and it's Joker and his crew. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We're tonight's entertainment. He's here to find Harvey Dent. He's gonna do all this different shit. He's walking around just killing it, just fucking crushing it. You know what I mean?
This is another moment of phenomenal acting where it's just like I have to imagine he was just like, Harvey Dent, like just doing stuff off the cuff. And Nolan was like, yes, keep that, keep doing that.
He takes a champagne flute off.
Throws it all, then still tries to drink it.
So aggressively that it goes, and then he goes, it's such a great little moment where you're like, he just did that. That was amazing.
I mentioned last night, I would have loved to have seen this whole sequence just uncut and just see all the little zany, tiny things that he was just kind of experimenting and trying out with all the different actors, and grabbing the bald guy's head and looking like it's just so good, dude. Great.
Then you get this great scene of Bruce Wayne going back, and there's two people about to get it on or whatever, but they've heard the commotion, like, what's going on out there? And he just ignores them and goes and hits the thing, like, oh, you got a panic room, and he goes in it and shuts the door behind himself. I'm like, oh, great.
Every time I see this, I think Bruce that's Melissa Joan Hart, but it's not her.
What a great cameo that would be.
That would have been
for
amazing.
No reason. just, I mean, probably take you out of it a bit. Meanwhile, yeah, back on the outside, Joker's interrogating everybody. He grabs the one dude who's, is this in your trivia, by the way? We've never talked about this guy before. The senator he grabs. The guy he grabs at the end when he's like, we're not scared of thugs like you. You remind me of my father. I hated my father. That dude, and I'll, if somebody wants to do, anybody else does a quick Google while I continue with the plot. He is a United States Senator, was a United States Senator, and he's kind of like the DC Batman film's good luck charm, where he's in an absurd amount of the DC Batman movies. So if you Google him, you'll find it and look into it. But I remember it was a big deal that he kept coming back in weird little, like, he's kind of like Stan Lee before Stan Lee was a thing, where you could look for him in the movies and find
Senator
him.
Patrick Lee of Vermont.
Okay. Find out how many Batman flicks he's been in for me.
Yeah.
Greg, I will say, Greg, that I'm glad you were right there, because this whole movie, I kept on pointing out that person's a guy. I've seen that person before.
Oh, you did say that.
I mean, I said it for like 3 different people in this movie, and it turns out I was wrong every time. I was 0 for 3. I was 0 for damn 3, man.
While Kevin finds that.
Wait, real quick. I was just say this is the moment where I'm like, why would she do this? Where what's her face comes out.
Rachel.
Rachel comes out and just
Because she doesn't want to see this old man's face cut open.
Yeah, but I don't like. I know she knows that Batman or thinks the Batman.
I was gonna say
coming, yeah, but like still, it seems like it's a really big jump for her character to go to. I don't know.
I
it
agree.
Just didn't seem.
I think she just wants to stand up to bullies because that's what her job is, and also she knows that Batman sleeps about 15 feet away. So,
all right,
and also he's coming out like he's just gonna. She probably also again another one of those cuts, like we talked about with Gordon on the rooftop. There's missing footage where she looks over and Christian Bale dressed full Batman just is like just
slowly walking,
just
pushing through the crowd
over the corridor. Is like, is it time for me to come in yet? She's like, no, not yet. More dramatic.
The group of people don't make any noise about this. Like Batman is walking in like.
No, you guys.
Hey, they know they're all eyes on the murder. That's
the
take
thing.
place.
Like,
and they've also got people with guns in their face. Even the guys with the guns are so focused by this that they can't look at Batman walking into the room right now.
Maybe they thought it was a Batman cosplay. Like, oh, we got a Batman for this party. That's awesome.
Oh, neat. Spit it out, Kevin.
There's 6 Batman cameos, including Batman Forever, Batman the Animated Series, Batman and Robin, The Dark Knight Rises, and Batman versus Superman: Dawn of Justice.
Beautiful.
Damn. That's
Keep your eyes peeled for
ended.
him. There hasn't been another Batman movie, really.
You got him. You got him, my
Didn't
dude.
work out.
Look how dumb he looks. He's red in the face, like the mouth part, but
Just hasn't been another Batman movie.
I guess.
I'd
Is
like
he still
to
alive, by the way, too? I don't even know if Patrick Lee is still alive. I don't know.
That's a good point.
Anyways,
Lee, maybe?
so everything that we just said happens. And then you're gonna love me. And Joker and Batman start fighting a little bit. The guys get involved. There's a great scene that is so reminiscent. I don't know if this is actual, but it was so reminiscent of the '66 Batman, where Joker's hanging back with his thugs, watching the other thug fight Batman. And when that guy gets done, Joker grabs his thug and throws him in to fight Batman. And then he gets a few good hits in, and that's when I think he gets knocked down, right? And he does the thing with his shoes and the knives, and he runs over and starts trying to kick him, and they all fight around or whatever. Eventually, Joker realizes in over his head, grabs Rachel, walks to the window. Blows it out from behind, blows out the window, and then let her go. Poor choice of words, and drops her. She slides down. Batman runs. He jumps. He slides down. She's screaming. He's able to grab her. He's able to throw open his cape on one side to do a corkscrew maneuver, as many parachuters know. Is that when they go down, they slam into a cab. Her underneath, over his arm in the cape, and him there, and both are okay.
He must have dropped. It looked like it was 80 stories. It looked like it was 80 stories. Might have been 30, but still a lot of stories.
This is my least favorite part of this movie for so many different reasons. One of which is the fall and like the car catching them. Just like that's stupid and doesn't feel like it makes sense in this world that they've built. The line that she has is one of those forced, corny, like slight comedy, nice coat moments that this movie doesn't have many of. So it's like even weirder. But also from a plot perspective, like him diving out the window, Andy brought up like, okay, so the Joker's just up there. Like, what happens after that? But in addition to that, it's like this moment is kind of the thing that makes Joker realize like, oh, Batman likes this girl. And it's like, or he just likes
human being,
people.
right? Yeah, exactly. That's the other thing too. The way Joker will say later on, right? The way I thought you were Dent for a second. The way you threw yourself out that window after that girl, like.
That is a Nolan leap of writing logic that I'm like, all right, I'm here for the ride, but like that's a a far bridge to cross. Yeah.
Anyways, with all these people dead and all this blood in his hands, things are starting to fall apart here. So Gordon is like trying to get more people at the GCPD to be part of this, and they're like, dude, nobody's gonna do this. It's all over. Harvey comes barreling into the room with a bulletproof vest, tosses it out loud, and like, you need to get in front of a judge right now and say what you got to say because I need this out of you before you're fucking killed. And so like it's not going well, but they're still hanging on to it or whatever, right? Then this is where we get the world burns line, right? Where Batman's reviewing tape of the Joker and how him and like doing facial scans, and he's like trying to figure it out. And Alfred's there, and he's just like, "Listen, man, like you changed things. Joker's right. You changed shit." And like, you spat in the face of Gotham's criminals, so they've turned to something they barely understand. I don't think you understand it. And he tells the story about the guy who, stole rubies but didn't even want to trade them for anything. He just wanted to steal them for good sport. Yeah, exactly. They like, I don't. It isn't here, but later on, how did you ever catch that guy? Yeah, we burned down the forest.
I love that line. Dope. I think that's beautiful. So great that like sometimes there's not much you can do except like burn it all down.
Some men just want to watch the world burn.
It's really bad for the environment.
Meanwhile,
cool if you said like Michael Caine, Andy.
Huh? Some men just want to watch. Hold on, hold on, everybody, stop. Some men just want to watch the world burn. Master Wayne.
That's good. That's good.
That
was
good.
Really good.
Yeah, that was really nice. Yeah. Now do
don't
Snake.
Forget it next time.
Well.
Why is it becoming more and more of a goldfish underwater?
He's drowning even though he breathes water.
So from there now, I forget how it's reported, but he's like, Joker puts into the media or just to Batman or the GCPD, I don't fucking GCPD, that Harvey Dent is dead at this corner, and they go to that corner and they find two other guys dead there. One of them's like last name's Harvey or first name's Harvey, the second name's Dent or some shit like that, and they're dead there, and they're Joker faced up, and Batman comes into the room, and he's like, yeah, get out. Can you give me 10 minutes of the room or whatever before your people contaminate it? And Ramirez is like, us? And it's like, yeah, you fucking suck. Get out of here. And so and Gordon's like, yeah, get the fuck out of here, Ramirez. And so Batman goes around and he finds a bullet in the wall and he's like, that's brick. I forget what he says, something about something. And then Batman cuts the brick out and he takes it back to the cave and he, Leia, and he does a whole bunch of different tests of another gun shooting different kinds of bullets into the fucking walls. This is great detective.
What a cool,
very intricate but cool.
Wait, no. So what Detective Gordon, I guess in this, what he said, or Lieutenant, maybe it doesn't matter. What he had said is like, are you gonna try to get like the ballistics on the bullet?
Yeah.
And he's like, no, I'm gonna get the fingerprints off. And it's like, what? And then what he does is he shoots like 6 rounds into similar
kinds, right?
material. Mm-hmm. Yeah, similar material. And then he analyzes. I mean, he just looks at the bullet to see which one matches closest to it, and then they like X-ray it so that they can see how the bullet got destroyed. You would need a lot more. Like, you would have to do this probably 100 more times. No, but I
wish they
cool.
just had let him.
I think it's cool. We don't see him do detective stuff.
Yeah.
This is cool detective stuff.
But I want him
I'm going to recreate this. I've already mapped this bullet. I've already mapped all these bullets. Now I'm going to shoot them into the wall. When I find the one that matches, I can then extrapolate that data.
Yeah, kind of.
First off, the bullet would. First off, your fingerprint would be on the shell.
First off, how many first offs can there be?
One. Your fingerprint would be on the shell, and the shell wouldn't be
Nick,
there.
that's very smart.
Yeah. Good second off. You doing shoot it doesn't like you could absolutely get the ballistics from the bullet even if it was shattered. You could look at it. Ballistics forensic scientists could look at it and be like, this is an X caliber bullet.
He didn't want the ballistics. He didn't care about the ballistics.
Yeah,
he was trying to. Yeah.
I get it, but this to me is another one of those Chris Nolan like, let's just make some bullshit up. Where I wanted like, if it's just unfortunate because I'm like, if you're gonna make him do detective work, make him do good detective work, not made up, make believe weird shit that if you stop to think about it for 5 seconds, like, how the fuck would that work? You're doing a computer simulation, and why would that matter? Why not just scan all the fragments of the bullet in and have the computer recreate that? That makes more sense. Why bother shooting shit into a fucking brick?
Because they don't know what piece is supposed to fit. You know how the bullet deforms when it hits.
It's a puzzle either way. You have a computer fucking scan every single piece, and the computer figures it out while you go have a lot. Why do you?
It was essentially reverse engineering. But Nick, do you hate this more, or do you hate the fact that the two people were named like something Harvey and Dent something or whatever?
That makes sense because it's the Joker fucking with these people, and like he found 2 random people and put them together. Yeah, that's fine. I don't mind that because it's psychological torture. What I do or torment. What I mind is just like this random like make believe bullshit where they're I don't know. It just didn't work.
How cool was it when like Lucius Fox comes in? He's like, we figured it out, and clicks the video, and all the fragments realign to become a bullet, and it turns over, and you see the fingerprint. I know it's dumb. like the science behind it isn't there, but like
It's fine.
it looked cool,
But
and
it
it
just didn't
was
work for
that
me.
moment that they would like. That whole scene existed for that moment. Also, the gun on the tracks, like mechanically
Awesome.
moving to the next
Awesome.
thing,
So cool.
taking a
need
shot,
loud.
moving. Oh my god, so loud.
So loud.
Yeah.
I could have made it a bit louder. Remember when he says that? You're like, oh, you're
Yeah,
so
yeah, yeah.
cheeky, Michael Caine. Please don't die on us.
Don't say
So
that.
while this is happening and all the tests and the reassembling of the bullet, they're getting ready for the commissioner's funeral, and they're doing the whole, they got the bagpipes, they got the people marching, everybody's in the dress blues. And they also got people all over the roof, right? Because there's, they know that they're going to try to kill more. Or the Joker had run. I don't know why the paper would run this. Had run in the obituaries, the mayor's obituary, saying he was the next to die. Paper gets this, like, sure, we'll run this.
Seems like
Yeah, no
responsible journalism.
Totally makes sense to us. Didn't even hear the mayor died. Maybe we get to break this news. So they've got a whole bunch of people in the things. They're all set for it. Batman gets the number as he's the thumbprint gets his motorcycle. He cross-references against all the people and all the things and yada, yada, yada. They find out that the one guy who will be Polka Dot Man in Suicide Squad lives at the, on the parade route or whatever, or the funeral parade route. Batman shoots over there. Everybody's panicking on what the hell's going on. Batman gets in the building as Bruce Wayne, obviously. He makes his way to the apartment. It's got it's a glass door, but like it's got paper over it. He breaks in, finds all these dudes stripped and bound and blindfolds on. And he goes over to he's a Batman voice, but he's still dressed as Bruce Wayne, which is cool. And he's like, what's going on? And they're like, oh man, the guys jumped us and they took our suits and our guns and shit. And so Batman walks over to the window and looks out the little thing there. That's not a sniper. It's a sniper scope, or telescope, I guess. And looks out there. There's no gun. And then a timer goes off and the window thing goes up and all the cops see the window thing go up. So they start shooting over there. This is during the 21 gun salute too. They shoot over there. Gordon thinks he hears it. And then when, on like the third time, the Polka Dot Man and Joker and his gang down there, they turn the bullets towards the mayor. Gordon runs in, grabs him, dives with his back to it. He takes one round to the back and falls over. Eventually, Worst comes over and he's like, he's dead. This is now pandemonium. All the Joker dudes drop their guns. They all run into the different, directions and areas or whatever. They immediately catch Polka Dot Man. Harvey and Rachel are there.
We're seeing the Joker without makeup.
Yeah, I think it looks so cool. Yeah, it's one of those things that if you pay attention earlier when there's a like pan shot that goes like from behind the mayor through the crowd, and you can see the scars on him as it like goes by. And it's cool. Like, oh, cool.
That's real cool.
It's really cool. This scene was weird to me, and I don't want to go on too long about it, but it's just like this felt like the Tim Burton type movies of The Plan, of like, okay, the mayor's here. We know the mayor is a target, so we're gonna have this very public like parade. And they even bring up, oh man, there's a lot of windows here. It's like, okay, then do the parade somewhere else.
Yeah,
like,
do a different route, right?
It kind of just feels like some safety precautions should be taken. I get it's a movie, they had to do this, but it's that combined with then Batman going in not in costume, just as Christian Bale or just as Bruce Wayne, and he does the Batman voice. But it's like, what was your plan if they didn't have blindfolds on? And so then he's in there, and then he walks over. Like, yeah, sure, he could have done something. It just felt like a bizarre choice. Like,
I agree.
And then he goes over to the window, and he's looking through the thing, and almost gets shot at, and he just kind of like backs away. Ooh. It's just like so much of that just felt like weird for what they were doing, but it got to a really cool place.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Gordon's confirmed dead. Dent goes over to Polka Dot Man and starts asking him questions, and he's all like crazy. And he looks at his lapel because the guy keeps doing like this. Like totally like cheesy over it. It looks and it says Rachel Dawes. And so that's when, Harvey's like, fuck this, and goes and drives the ambulance away. And then Gordon's dead. And so the GCPD goes over to Gordon's house to tell Barbara 1, hey, he's dead. She breaks down in tears. And then she starts screaming at Batman, who's there mourning as well, which I think is cool. Then we cut back to Harvey Dent.
Batman just hiding in the top of someone's stairs.
Yeah, where he's been before. We remember from Batman Begins. Then we have Harvey Dent. Yeah, he's got the Polka Dot Man tied up, and he's got the gun, and he's like, tell me what you know. And he's like, no. And he's got that gun. He brings out the coin again. Like, how about we flip for it? Heads, you keep yours. Tails, you're not so lucky. It comes up heads, of course. And then he's like, let's flip again. He goes like, no. He tells him a little bit or what he needs to know or nothing. I forget. He says something.
He can't say anything. right? Like
this is when Batman gets there when he goes to flip the coin a second time, grabs the coin. He's like, "You leave a man's life to chance." He's like, "No, I want it. Like, kind not really." And then he gets dragged away, and he's like, "This guy's, been Arkham 19 times. His mind's Swiss cheese. He's not gonna be able to tell you shit." And this is like the kind of crap that would like, if people caught you doing this, you'd ruin everything. It would be over, and all your convictions would be overturned, and yada yada yada. You can't fall from grace like this.
Yeah, I love this. I love
this
that.
Guy, by the way, this guy is so crazy. He's not gonna be able to tell you any pertinent details at all as to where the Joker is or might be. But he's not crazy enough to stand in line, march in a funeral procession, and know how to shoot a gun on command, like in the right, you know what I mean? Where he's like, "Come on!"
Yeah, they all knew exactly,
how to do all that stuff. Yeah. So he's good enough at understanding the world around him that he can learn all this shit. But he's like, he's not gonna tell you anything. I'm like, well, he might have a couple pertinent details, like where does the Joker hang out at night?
It's not reliable, right? It's
something that you might want me to check it out. I don't know. You know what I mean? I'd be like, well, we spent a couple minutes talking to this guy.
I like the dialogue between with Dent here and all this, because like this in the last movie with Batman Begins, like they beat everyone over the head with fear constantly over and over and over, where like that's just a through line between most of the characters. And with this one, like the word fair comes up multiple times, and I think it's interesting that Joker, his whole thing about like chaos, it's fair. And with Harvey, it's like the whole idea of the chance in the coin of it being fair or not. And I love that both the villains in the movie are like tied to that idea that fits into the whole Dark Knight, White Knight thing of like justice and all that. God, Nolan's good.
That's what he brings it in with Rises too when he talks about forever. So now that all that's happened,
about what?
That's great.
So when after all this has happened, Harvey calls Rachel and is like, "You can't trust anybody. You need to go someone." And she's like, "I'm with Gordon's men." And he's like, "Gordon's not there anymore." She's like, "Oh shit, fuck, I gotta take this seriously." And she's like, "I'm gonna go to Bruce's penthouse." And he's like, "Come on." And she's like, "Trust me, Bruce's, if you trust me, Bruce's penthouse is the safest place in the city right now." Meanwhile, at GCPD, the officers have turned on the bat symbol and finally like, "Turn it off. He doesn't want to talk to us. God help whoever he does want to talk to." And then we see a friend of the show, Eric Roberts, in a nightclub with some saucy lady, and he's like, "What makes you think I want to talk?" But then in strobe lighting, Batman just marches in and starts beating the fuck out of everybody in the way.
So, okay, where did Batman... So, follow me on this one. This is another one of those instances where I'm like, could you just have thought for 5 seconds more about this fun choreography? Could he not come from a skylight above? We don't even see the ceiling.
Nick's obsession with skylights. God.
This is the problem I have in these movies get more and more, less and less Batman-centric as they focus more and more on other elements. And to me, I don't like... Did he walk in the front fucking door? He walked upstairs. He walked past at least 30 people in this place who were like, "Is that fucking Batman? Like, what's going on?" You know what I mean? It's not like Sal Maroni was sitting next to the exit door and Batman just peeked in and grabbed him. He walks up a flight of fucking stairs in a very busy club. The more you see Batman in these situations, the more you have time to look at him and be like, "Oh, he looks kind of dumb in that suit." And it's the same with like when he's in the bank vault or any time in Dark Knight Rises where they just decided to shoot the entire movie during day and Batman's like, "Wow, I stick out like a sore thumb during all of this." I don't like this scene. I'm like, can we have thought about another more creative way for Batman to be fucking Batman?
I feel like Batman doesn't always need to be in the shadows, though. But like compared to what we think about Batman, like with the animated show and stuff, he's like only in the shadows when he's sneaking around. There's sometimes he doesn't need to be sneaky.
No, now he's being intimidating as fuck. Can you imagine him walking towards you as he takes down people that are supposed to be protecting you? You know?
Yeah. It just felt like lazy. A lot of the action, a lot of the choreography in this just feels super lazy, and it just feels like they were like, we're not interested in having Batman do anything Batman-y until the very, very end, and it's disappointing.
So from there, ladies and gentlemen, he grabs Marconi, Maroni. Drags him outside, and this is the thing we were talking about earlier. Like, one professional to another, like you got to pick your spots better. Like, I wouldn't die from this height. I would just get hurt. And he's like, or I wouldn't die from it up here. I'm counting on it. Lets him go. Jumps down there, starts interrogating him. I think I'm going to put these scenes out of order. Starts interrogating him about like, where is the Joker? What do you know? He's like, you did. He's got to have friends. Have you met this guy? Great line from Eric Roberts, right? Batman understands that he doesn't know this. Then he does the scene with Harvey Dent, understands he doesn't know that. At the end of the Harvey Dent thing, Batman tells Harvey, "Call a press conference for the morning. I'm going to reveal my identity." And that's when Harvey's like, "You can't do this. You can't do it. Don't do it." Then Bruce goes home. Rachel Dawes is there now. He tells Rachel the plan and that, he kisses her here too. And she is like, it's too many emotions. I don't know what's going on. I don't know who I love or whatever. From there, then it's the next morning. We're at the Batcave again. Alfred's burning everything because in this giant white room that is like so futuristic, they have like this old ass boiler there and like it's powering all the heat. Like, all right,
not only that, but for some reason they have to keep paper copies of everything.
Yeah, all their invoices and shit from it, whatever.
Their invoices,
all the bat cowl invoices. They burn all that, and there's some great lines here. Like there can't be anything that connects this to Lucius or Rachel or anything like that. And then they start riding up there, and he's like, "I suppose I'll be taken down as accomplice. Accomplice? I'm going to tell him all it was your idea." Now there's a great pan. Yeah, really well done. From there, we're at the press conference, which if I look at my Facts of the Furious here, I find out is where they also shot Bruce Wayne's apartment. Did you know?
You don't say.
Yeah, I do.
Smart, Greg. Never heard that.
Living up to his the reputation, Harvey Dent lays out this whole thing of like, let's not do this. Like, we're not doing this because we're mad at Batman. We're doing this because we're scared of the Joker. And like, yes, the Batman should have to answer for his crimes and the laws he's broken, but on our terms, not on this terrorist terms. And everybody out in the audience is a fucking moron. They're like, no, he can't, no, get him. I don't like him and I don't like Spider-Man. I'm like, fuck, all right, fine. And let's reveal will the real Batman please stand up? And Bruce goes to make his move, and Harvey's like, arrest me, I'm the Batman. And everyone's like, what?
Fuck yeah, man. This is so rad because didn't see it coming. The first time I watched this movie, it was like such a surprise. And I love how they did it. And the coolest thing, this is just one of those examples of life working out in a weird, bizarre way. Iron Man happened like 3 months before this movie came out. So like the Iron Man press conference of I Am Iron Man, this was 3 months later. And it's just like such a fun twist on this concept. Like what are the chances that those two things happen in superhero movies that close and are both fantastic in different ways? Very cool.
So they take Harvey into custody and they walk him out back, and Rachel, well, they don't even do that yet. Rachel's still at the apartment and she sees all this and she's like, Alfred, what the fuck is Bruce's problem? And she's like, I don't know, maybe he doesn't have a problem, miss. Like, I can't do an Alfred. And
I don't like the scene.
No, not at all. Where it's like she's mad and Alfred, rather than really listen to it, just like shuts her down a time.
Well,
maybe
they
both share this idea that like you should be Batman. Like, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, I get that, but like Rachel in this context is an incredibly smart, very well accomplished human being. I think she would understand what was going on here. She's like, why would he be doing this? I don't understand why Bruce wouldn't set up. And I'm like, you can't really figure out what's going on here. Like your boyfriend stepped up because he believes that it's more important. But we have to have Michael Caine tell the audience that. So Rachel comes off kind of like not knowing not being able to extrapolate at all what's happening in that press conference, and it's just kind of, it doesn't work well for her character. And that's why I keep coming back to, like, I love Maggie Gyllenhaal. I just don't like what they gave her to do in this, because most of the time she just kind of, she's frazzled. She's like, I'm frazzled. I'm like, all right, well.
So she gives the note to Alfred, and I do like this and how much she trusts Alfred, and like, you know him better than anybody. Like, give it to him when the time is right. How will I know that? It's not sealed. She leaves. She goes down to GCPD where they're taking Harvey to county or whatever. And she gets to talk to him a little bit here. And he's like, I'm counting on Batman to save me or whatever. This, we got to lure the Joker out kind of shit. Tosses the coin to her. She grabs it. She's like, you leave this up to you luck, and I make my own luck. And he turns. It's a double-sided coin. Oh, that's cool. Then it's this huge procession through the streets of Gotham to get Harvey to actual jail or to his holding facility in the county. There's a million SWAT teams there, and they got the big old SWAT van he's in, and the SWAT van is being driven by somebody in a full face mask, and then the teacher who brought a gun to school in Boston Public. If you remember Boston Public, which
that's a great poll.
This is the second or third time I've brought up Boston Public in Batman in Review, and I'm very proud of that. He will be the one who talks the entire way of like, that's not good. That's not good.
I hate that character. I love the reveal, and I know we needed something. But at a certain point, you'd be like, why aren't you fucking talking back to me, guy with full face mask? Also, he gets in the car, and he goes, hope you got some moves, buddy. I'd be like this. Wait a minute. Aren't you guys a SWAT team? Don't you guys work together constantly? Wouldn't you know every single person that's fucking on here? Why wouldn't you be like, who the fuck are you? And why are you driving this car in an entire police department full of people who might double cross you? I'd want to know every single person that was with me in that van, not just some fucking rando. But the fact they just keep cutting back to this guy, he's like, oh, that's not good. That's not good. And it cuts to the other guy. He's like, like, it's so awkward every time the guy says something and Gordon doesn't say anything back to him.
So
you don't
this
think
is
that
happening.
It was just cut that way?
No, I think that Gordon was like,
I think suspension of disbelief. Gordon talks to him off camera.
So that's what I'm saying. Like, it was just for like our movie's sake, not to reveal that
it
moment.
didn't occur to me. No, to me, it seems like this guy's just talking, and if the scene had gone on 15 minutes longer, the guy would eventually been like, "Why the fuck aren't you saying anything back to me? Who are you?"
I thought that was just to trick us, not trick, because I don't want to hear Gary Oldman, and Commissioner Gordon isn't good at voices like Andy is, so that's the problem.
Yeah, and also if he did talk, it would be so quiet you couldn't hear it.
Exactly. Maybe he did say things. Point. He's muffled by the mask. So like I said, this is going, and sure as shit, it's the Joker and his hench crew show up, and they want to take Harvey Dent and kill him. So it's a big old Mack truck that originally Joker pops up really cool and shoots the police officer with a shotgun, and then that gives chase. And it's a slaughter instead of laughter on the side. And they open up the thing when they're there, and Joker's shooting with his just Uzi, and then he gets a rocket launcher, and that shit's blown up. And then the Batmobile shows up, and it's pancaking people and things. And then, like, when he goes for the second rocket launcher, the Batmobile drives over and jumps, and it takes the hit, and it goes when it goes down. Batman takes out some of his dudes. Then Batman, smashes through. This is not in chronological order.
This is such a well-paced chase scene. I love this action, and I think that it, both from a dialogue perspective, music perspective, and just kind of like interesting levels of rising, interesting things happening. Mm-hmm. It's so great. And then it ends, of course, with the face off between Batman and Joker. It's like such a nice build up to these moments. A fact here is while filming the chase scene with the Joker and the SWAT vans, one of only 4 IMAX cameras in the world at that time was destroyed.
Nice.
So that's ridiculous. But it being shot in IMAX, like, they really took advantage of it to like use every inch of the screen and to be able to really get that claustrophobic feel in the tunnels that we're familiar with from the last movie, but now just kind of like using every inch of them in interesting ways to use the camera and show the truck next to the cop cars and the way that the Batmobile is, or the Tumbler, kind of interacts with those things. I was like super in the entire time. It's then using the jump that we know from the first movie to block the rocket. It's all just so awesome.
I also think another thing that's really perfect about this whole sequence is during this whole underground part, no music, just explosions, yelling, sort of barks of dialogue here and there, and you really feel in
the Batmobile. Like, that's the thing, is the sound design of this shit is just fucking rad, because even if you weren't watching it, if you just listen to this stuff, it still tells a story. That to me is like so awesome for a chase scene.
And then the tumbler explodes or whatever because of the RPG. The motorcycle ejects, self-destruct mode or whatever activated or whatever. And then that's where the music kicks in. And it's so fucking hype. Like, this is one of those, just one of the many Hans Zimmer moments that just your goosebumps from head to toe. It's so goddamn good.
When he shoots out in a bat cycle.
I queued it up where the bat cycle comes out just because it's so freaking cool. Look at that. Hold on.
Yeah, this poor guy with the sandwich, you know what I mean? He's just trying to work.
He's still
just trying to get his hoagie on,
Sandwich is fine.
They just made a whole bunch more work. They're out there doing construction. This motherfucker just smashed through the side of the
Dude, he's got a job for 2 months. He's good to go. God, that looks so cool.
I mean,
clean up alone.
That looks so cool.
I think everybody wants to remake the scene from Akira with the bike kind of spinning, but like when the bike here rotates the opposite axis. That's cool. The coolest fucking thing ever, dude.
That part's cool, but I think, like, for me, this is a little spoiled because I wish we talked about it last time, but I hate when he has to go down into the thing. I wish the reveal of him going down into the tumbler was him shooting out as the bike. That's the first time I'd ever seen that. I think that would have been way cooler.
That's kind of cool.
And second, I think that there's a shot coming up after he flips over the Mack truck, which is a fucking amazing.
You just get to it. Yeah, when he's chasing, and then he goes, woof, 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 and he comes, and then he plants the thing on the ground, and Joker even looks back, and then he just goes. So
I love it. First off, there's a weird. Go ahead.
I love the performance of Heath Ledger when he crawls out of it, where he can't stand upright, and then he shoots the gun by accident, right? And it's just so fucking good.
So there's 2 things in this scene that I don't. I just very nitpicky. One, I hate the choreography of the bike going up and then flipping around and coming back down. It just looks so stupid.
What?
It looks so dumb.
That's cool.
It's so fucking cool.
It's one of those things where it's like, it just doesn't look right. It looks CG. It doesn't look like it didn't work for me. And second, there's a moment where they're driving, and I never got this before, but correct me if I'm wrong. Heath Ledger, Joker kicks the guy that was driving the car out before. It says, "Let me drive." Right? The guy got kicked out because he was dead. So it's just Joker driving this, and then
There's
somebody
dude in the car.
when Batman. What's that?
There was another dude in the car.
Oh, there was.
I thought he had a henchman and a clown mask.
Yeah.
Okay, because there was one point where someone goes, he missed, and I was like, I think it was Joker was the only person left in the cabin of it, but I was mistaken. I apologize.
Yeah,
So
I
it's
just
that one
rewatched
thing
that
that's
scene right
stupid.
now. There was one dude right next to him who looks really interesting.
Because he throws the guy out that's older.
Yeah, that guy was
he
like
was the
dead.
truck
He had, like,
driver from the
blood or
very
something.
beginning that had laid down or whatever. Anyways, so that happens. Gets out. Hit me. Come on, hit me. I don't like this. I assume, and everybody correct me if I'm wrong, is the motive as Batman barrels down on him that Batman wants to kill him, but at the last second swerves away and dumps the thing because he's like, I can't do this.
So.
It makes zero sense. I don't like it.
Okay.
I wish Batman had something. He's got to have some other. The guy's non-lethal everywhere.
Doesn't he
across the
have like a
board.
grappling hook to wrap around his ankle and pull him to the ground and knock him out?
It's bad. They just needed to incapacitate. Again, lazy choreography where they're like, how do we get Batman incapacitated so Gordon can save the day?
He'll knock himself out. He'll knock him.
Yeah. Oh, that's fine. Yeah, let him do that. By the way, he's just fucking like proved to us that this bike, he can do crazy shit on this bike, but he can't stop.
So he ditches the bike. He gets knocked out a little bit. The Joker goon tries to take off the mask. He gets zapped. He falls down. Joker, instead of running to Batman, runs to him and makes fun of him and kicks him.
Great.
Then, he gets over Batman with the knife, ready to do his business. And that's when you hear the shotgun, and it's Gordon behind him with the shotgun. And it's like, oh, we fucking got him. And so they got him. Gordon is, they all go back to GCPD, right? Everybody's excited for Gordon. I might be putting things out of order here. Yeah, right. Because Joker's in the jail cell. This is the knife scene of them pulling it out. Everybody around there, everybody's like hooting and hollering. Gordon walks in. He's like, "Get away from the! I don't want anything for his mob lawyers to use against us." At this time is when the mayor comes in and congratulates Jim on not being dead, and then also tells him he's taking the big job. He's Commissioner Gordon now. That's all happening there, and that's great. Dent is excited. Transitive tissue here, but they put him in the interrogation room. Do we know? Oh, that's the thing, right? That's the thing. Okay. So what I missed there is the tissue is that I jumped away from the scene too quickly where when Gordon opens on the streets of Chicago, opens the thing and says, "We got him, Harvey." Harvey then gets put into a car by Ramirez. He's like, "I gotta get home to I got a very confused girlfriend." He's like, "I figured, counselor." And she shut the door. He drives away and she does that, like looking like, and then Rachel gets kidnapped too by Wirtz or whatever. Or maybe Wirtz. Yeah, no, that's right. And so then we're back there now. And then, okay, cool, motherfucker. You're in the jail cell. I'm Commissioner Gordon. That's all great. And then they find out that Harvey Dent never made it home. And so that's when they put Joker in the interrogation room. Also, a big old fat guy gets admitted into the holding cell with Joker. And he's like, "My insides, the boss promised fireworks."
He told me I'd be good.
Then they go and interrogate Joker of like, all right, what's fucking going on? Or Gordon does. And Joker's like, "I'm not telling you shit." And he's like, "All right, you want to do this the hard way?" Takes off the cuffs. He's like, "I'm gonna go get a cup of coffee." And he's like, "Oh, good cop, bad cop." Not exactly. Door shuts and the lights turn on and Batman's been behind him the whole time. Slams his head down and we just get a fucking scene. You know what I mean? Just a cinematic masterpiece of Joker and Batman talking.
This scene coming right after the amazing chase action scene we just saw, it's like this fucking movie is relentless. It's like if it's not having a scene that just stands on its own that's amazing, it's doing one of the Game of Thrones set scenes of having a bunch of shit adding up together, and it never stops. Like we're never getting like moments that last longer than 15 seconds of just kind of like setting up something for the next shot. It's always just like every bit feels like we always talk about the every frame of painting type stuff. Like to me, this feels like every scene is telling its own story, and it's so awesome because this interrogation scene is like textbook 101 how to fucking make a movie, how to make a scene, and how to believe in characters.
10 out of 10 content here. The important things to pull from it, obviously, beyond the great acting or whatever, right, is that Joker plays his hand right of like, what time is it? Well, it's very important to what time it is that he could be in one place or many places. And it's that, he is kidnapped both Harvey Dent and Rachel Dawes.
Hold on. Sorry, there's some crazy audio going on.
That's the Extra Life for Kids thing. So if you have been working on Extra Life graphics and shit, then we just got an Extra Life donation.
Cool. Give me 1 second. Scared the
Extra Life.
hell out of me. How do I mute it?
I do want to point out I love this scene because this scene is where the two ideologies kind of clash, right? Where he talks about, he has that great line where he's like, "You have nothing to threaten me with," and it's so true because Batman. Did we lose the stream?
No, we're totally fine. I'm sorry. I'm trying to figure out how to mute this thing. You guys keep going. This is just preview stuff that
I absolutely love that he's just like, you have not like all of your strength. You have nothing you can threaten me with. And it's so true because there's that moment where like, yeah, he slams his head on the table. Like, yeah, fuck yeah, Batman's gonna like beat a confession to this guy, just like my hero Stabler from Law and Order SVU. Even though he had to go to a lot of therapy after that, and a lot of stuff happened. Anyway, but midway through, the power dynamic shifts, and you're like, oh shit, he does have the upper hand. Similar to our other favorite movie, Greg. That's right, Seven, starring Brad Pitt and Lucius Fox, Morgan Freeman. These are all in the shared universe.
That's right. Yeah. So again, the information's out. Rachel, this is the thing we talked about earlier as well. So we're just trying to, I thought maybe you really were Harvey Dent the way you cared about it or whatever. Joker gives the 2 addresses, but as we will find out, of course, switches who's at which one. He lies. So Batman runs out going after Rachel. Gordon runs out with his team to go after Dent. However, then we get Dent and Rachel waking up in their, rooms full of gas and bombs or whatever. And Rachel being the calm one and talking Harvey through all of this, and she's very aware that Batman will come save her, and it probably won't happen for him. So she starts coaching him on how to get out of it. He rocks his chair around, falls over, knocks over a gas canister, gets all just one side of his body, his left side, covered in gas. While all this is happening, she's like, you asked me a question. The answer is yes. She says that she is going to end up being with him. Batman busts into the room. He thinks to save Rachel. He's actually there to save Harvey. Harvey says, no, why did you
this moment?
Why are you here for me? Yeah, 100%.
This moment when we first saw it in theaters, you were just like, fuck.
Yeah, right.
What a jaw dropper.
And so, Rachel then has the confirmation of like, oh shit, like it is happening. And like I said earlier, doesn't lose her cool, doesn't freak out, is at peace with it. Like, this is how it's got to be, and this is how it's going to be. And keeps talking. And even as I remember being in the theater as a viewer, you still assume something will happen. Like, this is pretty dark for a Batman flick, but sure as shit, Gordon and team roll up and boom, explode. She's dead.
Gone.
I always read this scene really weirdly because I always read it as, Harvey, I have something to tell you, and then him going, no, and her being like, wait, what do you mean? No, I'm just trying to talk to you, Harvey. Like, I always read it as she's like responding calmly to him screaming, not knowing that he's actually being rescued. It was always like a different read for me. But then she says at the very, very end, I have something to tell you. What is she going to tell him?
Oh, I just assumed she would like, I love you. Or yes. I think she was going to say, yes, I'll marry you, right? Isn't that
she already said that, right?
Well, she said that.
The answer is yes. But then like she kind of like lets out.
I think she was saying someone's going to get me. Like, I think she was like saying like someone's going to come.
She was saying someone's coming. Yeah.
And then she got cut off. And she was wrong.
Yeah.
Well, I guess she was right. They just were slow.
Meanwhile, the bomb went off at Harvey and Batman's place too, but Batman had got him out. A bunch of fire kicks off. It gets to Harvey, ignites his left side. Batman pins him down and pats him out a little bit, but the damage is done. From there, we get a mourning montage, right, of Batman mourning over at Rachel's explosion site. Harvey, in the hospital with half of his face covered and all this shit. And then I think this is maybe even teamed up at the same time with Alfred reading Rachel's letter for the first time while making that little granola breakfast, which was delicious, and saying, "Hey, you know what, Bruce? You asked me to do this, but I'm in love with Harvey. Like I'm going to marry Harvey Dent. I love Harvey Dent. What are we looking at here, Kev?
It's just some of the behind footage of how they did it. I just thought it'd be cool to pull it up while we just.
That's really cool, yeah.
Sure. So Alfred knows that, and he's like, "Ooh, fuck, this is gonna go poorly." And he puts it in the envelope, and he's like, "It was just how it's got to be." He walks over there. I thought I'd fix a little breakfast, Governor. And he puts it down, and Batman's sitting there, no mask on, overlooking the city in the daytime. And he's just like, did I bring this on her, Rachel, or did I bring this on her, Alfred? Like, she was gonna wait for me. He lays it all out. Alfred takes away the note, though. He's like,
good old Alfred. His basically son is mourning the death of the woman he loves. And Alfred could go two ways with this. He could be like, well, I could sugarcoat this for you. But he's like, no. He's like, did I cause this? He's like, yeah, you did. You caused this. You pushed them farther than they could have gone. What did you think they were going to do? And I'd be like, sympathy. A little sympathy is what I'm looking at right now.
Yeah,
a little sympathy and a little fresh squeezed juice with some granola sprinkled on it.
We cut back to what's going on?
Sorry, I was just saying he's trying to get him not to stop, though, right? Like he's saying, like this is the consequences of making real change. Yeah,
what would you have me persevere? Right?
Batman. Oh yeah, exactly. I mean, let's be honest. I agree with Michael Caine's message here. I just think the timing of the delivery could have maybe be like, "Hey, dude, I'm so sorry that she just died. Also, you should keep going though, because he's still out there." Is basically what I wanted to tell you. But it is your fault, and you totally did this, and you should.
I'd be like, Alfred, why the fuck aren't you crying, dude? You knew her too. I'm like, what the fuck?
You like helped raise this girl.
I think it's a very interesting thing that Batman was going for her.
Yeah,
like,
I
think
do
about
too.
that.
Yeah,
like that's it's really kind of like a fundamental flaw of the character. And like I get that like people have flaws, and even Batman has flaws, but like The movie would have been very different if Joker hadn't changed the addresses, right? Like he was going to save his love instead of saving the White Knight of Gotham.
Yeah, it's Batman.
But like then it would have made
Batman. What a Batman thing to do.
But I feel like
absolutely right.
It would have made Harvey Dent a martyr, and then kind of like the whole second part of this movie, or not second part, but like the last third, where it's about bringing down Harvey Dent and breaking Gotham's like
White Knight.
The hope of Gotham,
the hope of the soul.
Not as like that would have been a missing piece. Like this, where it's like it's all about corrupting Harvey Dent, is so much more impactful. You know what I mean? So, like, I feel like had he saved Rachel, things would have still gone pretty smoothly for Gotham.
Oh no,
right?
that's what
it's like their martyr would have died.
I think Tim's saying that, like the rest of the movie he's talking about, like even Batman making a sacrifice at the end to be the bad guy is him saying, well, Harvey is the most important piece of this puzzle.
No, I know, but that's like I'm saying that
I don't know what we're talking about.
So, no, mind, that's fine.
We can move on.
Okay, great, cool. So from there, now Gordon goes to the hospital, try to talk to Harvey Dent, and Harvey's not having it, of course. Like, you won't take skin grafts, and you won't do this. He's like, I'm Two-Face. He's like, oh, fuck, you're Two-Face. Your name lives up, the internal affairs thing you had going on. That's great. That's sad. That's bad. You shouldn't be like this, or whatever. And he's like, hey, I'm fucking Two-Face. We can do that.
I'm Two-Face. All he's saying is I'm Two-Face.
I'm Two-Face. He's really angry now. He's in agonizing pain. I forgot the great scene, by the way, too. Sorry, I think it was during the montage where Batman had come, Bruce Wayne had come, and they put the coin there. And so when Harvey wakes up the first time and he picks up the coin, it's still silver, and he knows he gave that to Rachel. And of course, thank you, Christopher Nolan, for showing us him giving it to Rachel again, so we all understood. And they rotate it; it's all black, and he cries.
Sorry, I was out. Did we talk about the scene where he with the pile of money and burning all that shit?
I don't think that's happened yet.
Oh, okay.
I think it's like the next scene.
Okay.
But anyways, well, yeah, sure, whatever. So this Gordon thing happens, and Harvey's pissed off. We knew that. Then, yeah, Joker gets the money from the bad guys, his half of the money that he asked for, and then he burns it. And then the dog guy is like, what the fuck, man? He's like, hey, I'll do what I want with my money. But, it's not about the money. Like, gasoline. What does he say? Gasoline and knives, and they're cheap or whatever.
They're cheap. Did he also burn Lau alive?
Yes, Lau is burned alive at the top of the pile.
On top of the pile.
That's okay.
That is something that gets glossed over.
Yeah, that's one of those things.
You don't hear him scream. You don't hear anything.
Another one of those moments where I'm like, wow, they really were just so focused on the story and like getting from beat to beat that I think that's a huge, huge thing that I would have, as a cinematographer, been like, are we going to have a moment where we see this guy burning alive on this huge pile of money and like thematically representing what he stands for versus Joker's ideals? Nah, dude, we got to get to the next thing because there's still 14 movies left.
So much fucking going on in this movie. So he slides down. He's like, now tell your men they work for me. No, I won't. All right, we'll fucking feed you to the dogs piece by piece and see what their loyalty is. Then he immediately picks up the phone because he knows that at this exact time, Anthony Michael Hall is hosting a TV show with the redheaded guy from Wayne Enterprises who's about to go live with Who is Batman, because he's going to say who Batman is. That way Joker will stop killing everybody and Gotham can get back to normal. Again, it's the exact same thing from the press conference of we're giving in to terrorist demands. Joker calls in though and he's like, listen, I've had a change of heart. It's too much fun not knowing who Batman is. I don't want you to ruin this. So now I'm going to up the ante. Whoever fucking kills this guy, if somebody in Gotham kills this man, then everything will be fine. And if they don't kill him by whatever the deadline is, 90 minutes an hour, I'm going to blow up a hospital on Gotham.
This movie's fucking awesome.
Yeah,
like
100%.
Holy shit, we're still getting crazy twists that are actually fun and interesting, and like you believe it. Joker's amazing.
And so immediately Gotham PD is like, we got to evacuate every fucking hospital, get every school bus, get every group thing you can get people out every one of the hospitals. We got to worry about this. Focus on Gotham General, the big one downtown that also Harvey Dent's at. So then Reese is trying to get evacuated. They shoot at the glass to really show you that no, people are going to fucking kill this guy. They're going to try to protect him. Bruce understands all this is happening and he's going to go downtown to try to stop everything and protect him. But he's not going to take the Batmobile. He'll take the Lambo to be more incognito. And Alfred has a funny line about it.
So cool.
So he's driving around. I'm just going to get through all this. He's driving around down there. Inside of the cop car with Reese is Gordon and then this other guy. Bruce is on the phone in the Lambo calling out the guards he sees to Alfred so they can cross-reference with who has family actually at the hospitals. It turns out, of course, that the guy, I forget his name, Blintz or something. Burke, that's it. He's in Burt Meg. Burt Meg's in the car and he's got a wife in the hospital. And so like Gordon wants the gun. There's this whole thing about it. And like, they have a little standoff, tense moment about it. And at the same time, like as the van starts to go, another truck comes in to hit it. And, Bruce Wayne gasses up the Lambo, takes the blow for it, softens the blow for the car, doesn't kill the redhead.
Kevin,
a great scene. Then
what's the fun fact about the car, Kevin?
It is the Lamborghini Murciélago, which means bat in Spanish.
And if you notice, it's colored black with little hints of yellow. Very Batman-esque. Shout out to
There's a great scene here where Gordon walks over to Bruce and he's like, "Mr. Wayne, right?" And he's like, "Yeah, it's a very brave thing you did. What, trying to beat the red?"
I love it.
He's like, "You know who's in the van? No, who is it?" And he looks back and they have a moment where Redhead is like, "Fuck, that is Batman, and he just saved my life, even though I'm trying to fucking ruin
Man,
should I go to the dude? What Bruce Wayne's line of like, should I go to the hospital? And he's like, you don't keep up with news, do you?
Yeah.
It's so good and so like me nailing that character.
I'll tell you what, this is how I know that Batman's just a better human being than me, right? In general, is if that guy looked at me and I locked eyes with him, I would just be like this. Fuck you. Like I'm like, I just fuck you. You know what I mean? You little
and
piece
you
of
keep your
shit.
mouth shut.
Black man, you fucking keep your mouth shut. Yeah, he's got another Lamborghini. He'll shove up your fucking red ass.
Nope.
I ran through all that. And
why
then
is his
what
ass red,
happened?
Nick?
He's redhead.
He's
Remember
got
the red
red
hair?
fur on his butthole.
Yeah. Think about how hairy your ass is, Kevin. Think about that being
It's
red hair.
very
Show everyone
hairy.
your asshole right now. See how blonde it
I
is.
wish we were sponsored by Manscaped so I could just segue from that. But
Anyway, I shoved all that in there. Meanwhile, because there's the multiple planes of action thing we always love to talk about here, right? Meanwhile, over at Gotham General, they're evacuating people, and guess what? The Joker is in Harvey's room. It's what we already talked about. Hi, and like him getting all crazy about it, and then introducing the whole thing of chaos and Agent of Chaos, and I'm not a schemer. Those people were schemers. You were a schemer. Now you're not a schemer. Gives him the gun. Heads you live, tails you die, and it's like, fuck yeah, that's good. You know what I mean? This is such a great thing. And he flips now we're talking. Flips the coin, gets it, and we cut away. Harvey is now out on the prowl. Joker evacuates the hospital along with everybody else. What is it? 50 some patients and Anthony Michael Hall get in one van. The thing that's gonna be where Joker goes. He walks out. He starts blowing the thing up. It starts going. Then it stops blowing up, and he looks at the thing and shakes it and hits it again. And then finally it blows up again.
And what a great dude. This is one of those scenes where if you've ever directed anything, this should give you anxiety because it's done in one shot. As he's walking out, hits the thing, everything blows up. The giant bridge tumbles behind him, and the whole fucking building collapses as he gets into the car, and it pulls off, and it's perfect, that shot. You have to imagine there was like 15 other cameras recording everything just for coverage, but it's so well done.
A fun thing here is that the original intent was for the Joker to scar Dent during the Joker's trial in the third film. But Christopher Nolan said that he had known he was going to make another sequel for sure. Harvey Dent wouldn't have died in this one. So it's interesting, just like timeline-wise of movies getting greenlit and all this stuff, that this movie could have been wildly different.
Wait, so that means that the movie would have just ended a lot?
It just would have been different enough, but then, yeah, it would have just started. The third one was going to start with the trial of Joker, and Harvey was still going to be a good guy.
Got it.
But
that makes sense because they probably could have
so
they could have
better.
cut 20 minutes out here and just gone to the what I think is the more compelling scenes, which is the fairy stuff that's coming up.
The explosion stuff, that was an accident. You know, the whole like him being like, why isn't it exploding? Because like the third explosion didn't go off when it was supposed to. That's why he looks back. Isn't that the rumor
though?
No, I think it's true. Or is it
GreenRant.com? Heath Ledger improvised Joker myth. What really happened? Oh. Heath Ledger's improvisation skills in the Dark Knight have been overblown thanks to the internet myth. The talented actor went against type, cast as Joker, and the Nolans, blah blah blah. His work as Joker, it's basically, I had a better line than that, but I thought the same thing, and I was going to bring it up, but this Google of a 2020 article actually says no, it wasn't.
All right.
That it wasn't improv at all. I hear you. I remember hearing that too, but like it's
too perfect to be improv. It's so
exactly
perfect.
The way he gets into it, right? Yeah.
If that's like the best improv ever.
According to this article, it was there to keep him safe. Like it actually was planned, and that's why get him away from the explosion or whatever.
Yeah, because he was doing all that shit practically, right?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the usual problem of the internet of I'm reading one article, and then obviously everyone's like, "Oh no, this is exactly."
The next article says
exactly.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't go that far. Yeah,
just joking. He's not.
Yeah,
or wasn't.
Yeah, what a cool story about the behind. This is from comicbookmovie.com. What a cool story behind the scenes of that movie. The problem is it's false. Special effects was able to come scenario in which Heath would actually be walking out of the building because what Chris worked out is that if we put a little beat where the first set of explosions stops as if something's gone wrong, the Joker just takes a second to look surprised and the audience is surprised. Then the major demolition comes and he jumps straight into the school bus. And that way he was able to come up with a practical scenario in which he could actually take the principal actor, walk him out of a building that's about to be destroyed, and literally drop the building to the ground. So yeah, it wasn't improv at all. But I remember hearing that too.
Again,
we digress though, and we're back to the plot now. It's blown up. They've driven away. While that's happening, Harvey is now on his killing spree. He goes after Wirtz, who's drinking at a bar. flips the coin for him. He gets the death thing. He dies. Then he gets into Maroney's Eric Roberts' car. We get some coin flips there. Eric doesn't die from it, but he flips it again. I thought it was gay. That was for your driver, and he puts on a seatbelt. Like, put on your seatbelt, Eric Roberts. Car flips. Fucking, everybody should be dead, but no big deal.
I think he is dead, right? Because at the end they say 5 people were killed.
More seatbelt.
Yeah, no, he's dead. I'm saying everybody should be dead, including Harvey Dent. I don't think he should have.
He had a seatbelt on.
Okay,
seatbelt save lives.
So then we go from there, and we're into the end loop here. So this is where I skipped it earlier. After the redhead guy had told Morgan Freeman all this money in R&D, he had asked Wayne about that. Wayne had said yes, but I'm playing it very close to the vest. It's a government contract. And then there's Morgan Freeman gets a report of a break-in in R&D. He goes down there and finds this giant widescreen monitor with all these different things on it. He walks in. Bruce explains it to him that, he's like, immediately Lucius like, you've turned every cell phone into a listening device. You know what I mean? And that's fucking fucked up, and I don't like that, and I won't be a part of it. He's like, you just need to be a part of it for one night. We need to get the fucking Joker talking to it, and that way we can find him and we can stop him. I got to stop this man. And he's like, fine, but consider this my resignation. As long as this thing is in the building, I won't be in. And he also tells it, nobody should have this much power. And he's like, I know, that's why I gave it to you. And when you're done, just type in your name and it's all over. You'll see what happens. He's like, all right, cool, whatever. So then now, Joker had made the announcement, right, that he's gonna kill some people tonight, and that if Batman doesn't reveal himself, and that the bridge and tunnel crew wouldn't like it, and so they're ferrying people out of Gotham, and there's these 2 ferries that both stop, and then they both can't talk to each other, and one's full with convicts and one filled with normal people. And when they go downstairs, inside of the ferries, they find all the things ready to explode, and they also find a little gift wrap package. They open it up. It's a thing in there with an ignition. You'll according to the Joker, who's eventually starts talking about all this, you'll blow up the one across from the river from you. You guys have until midnight to make a decision. If neither of you blows the other up, I'll blow you up. Of course, Joker's talking about all of this while he does this. Lucius is able to get it there. Batman's able to tell Gordon and GCPD where he's at. So everybody's like, good, we got this thing kind of under control. From there, we get a bunch of stuff in the ferries of, the convicts want everybody to die, but they've got shotguns over there. The people, they don't want to, then they decide they're going to vote. So they vote, and overwhelmingly.
I hated the voting shit.
I know, right? Overwhelmingly, they're like, we're going to blow everybody. We're going to blow up the bad guys. They had their chance.
I felt like
everybody on that fucking boat. Everybody on that boat too big of a pussy to fucking turn the trigger.
I would have loved for them to make the voting a lot more complicated than it really should have been. Like,
they had
you
like
write on this
representatives.
paper 1 to 10 how much you want to blow up the other thing. Then we'll add
everybody
up. Everybody
raise your hand. All right, 400 hands.
Like 7,000. Like it was so stupid. Dude.
We were watching this, and D was like, "What would we do in this situation?" I was like, "What any right-minded person would do: wait for everyone to start voting, and then slip out the back and jump into the water and just swim away."
They would have blown you up. They said if one person jumps out, they'll blow it up.
I dress in dark clothes. You're not going to see me.
Watching us. How close are you
wear dark clothes?
I'm willing to take this chance.
I think this whole thing is great as a concept. I think it really works, and like none of the stuff bothers me, the voting and all that. I think it is what it is. I just think that this is proof of how great this movie is. That so late we're introduced to this thing that would be the best part of another movie, but to me it's just kind of like just another thing going on here, and it builds into the Joker's character so well. Like where it ends up that they end up neither boat blows up, and then they actually don't blow up because the Joker is a man of his word to that extent this time. I just think it's so cool. It adds such depth to the Joker's character as a whole.
At midnight, if they didn't blow each other up, they both get blown up. That's why Joker has another remote that would have taken them both out. And I assume that like blowing one of them up would have blown both up just because it's Joker.
I was
wondering if it was the Rachel Dawes Harvey Dent
that's what I was going to say.
They turn the trigger, they blow themselves up.
Yeah.
Did anyone else? I just watched The Fifth Element, which by the way I still love. But that actor that's in this, his name is Tommy Tiny Lister. No. Also Gary Oldman. Wow, that's right. No, the guy that played Debo in Friday is in this, and he's
always going to be Debo to me. As soon as you see him,
Debo. And I love that he's in this, and he's still super scary because he's fucking gigantic, and he's very intimidating. But he's so goofy as Debo and as in The Fifth Element that I'm like, I can't see him as a serious convict, but it's okay.
Oh, I love it, and I like his line when he just gets up and he's all intimidating. He's like, you don't know how to take a life, but but you don't want you don't know how to take a life and you don't know how to do anything. So just give it to me and I'll do what you should have done a long time ago. And it throws it right out the window.
I loved that. I was like, oh, fuck, that's cool.
Yeah.
So meanwhile, all that's happening. We've already said everything that happens over there. They vote, and like I said, all the pussy civilians over there, they can't do it. They can all say they want to kill these guys, but none of them get their hands dirty. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Kevin, could you turn the key?
Kevin, definitely. Kevn would be champing at the bit.
Am I the criminal or which boat am I in? Which boat am I in?
You're on the regular boat. You're on the human boat.
The human boat.
I mean, that's the thing. Like you gotta be like, hey, they're not gonna turn it. We can't turn it. Throw the thing out.
I will say when Debo walks up to the cop,
yeah,
and the cop standing next to him with the shotgun wants no part of this.
No,
like he's holding the shotgun because it's part of his job, but he's like, if I could be anywhere else right now, like this dude has a shotgun. He's supposed to be like a symbol of authority, and he's just kind of like not even looking at Debo or the conversation happening. It's like, fuck this, dude. Fuck this.
So, anyways, Gordon and the goons show up, and they're staring into the building where the Joker is, and they can see all the doctors are on the ground, and all the clowns are up there with Uzis or whatever. And Batman's like, it's never that. He shows up. He's like, it's never that simple. Give me 10 minutes in there. And he's like, no, you can't have that much. They've had a fractured relationship here, right? Like everything's gone wrong. Gordon can't, just turn this over to Batman, but Batman jumps off. He's like, all right, give him 2 minutes or whatever. Batman heads over there and quickly pieces together. Well, he doesn't quickly. He flies through a window, knocks down one of the bad guys, and it takes off the mask. And turns out it's actually Anthony Michael Hall again. The hostages are the bad guys. The hostage takers are the good guys. They've been made up to look like this because Joker's crazy and stuff. So he can't get that message to Gordon and the crew, though. Gordon gets a call from Barbara 1, who says Jim 2 and Barbara 2 and her have been taken hostage, and that he needs to get over here.
JJ and BJ.
Ooh, man.
Yeah, it doesn't work.
So Gordon's like, oh god, so he runs out of there. Nobody's listening anymore over there, so the cops just start going into the place. There's no way for Batman to tell them that this is what's going on, so Batman then has to start fighting the police officers, and then also doing all the cool stuff with his ropes and shit to knock people's legs out to get them out of the line of fire, to take them out and do all this. And it's a cool scene as he runs around and does a bunch of actiony things. Eventually he runs up, finds Joker at the top. Here's the payoff to your suit and dogs and shit. Dogs run at him. He fucks these Rottweilers up.
Dude, relentless. Doesn't give a fuck.
Just throws them down what I have to assume was 30 to 50 stories. Just
they work for the Joker. They knew the risks.
He can't reason with this.
They did know the risks.
They put their little paw print on the line, like Porter does. I imagine, and he just signs his little wife.
Yeah,
there's still not enough you could do to not make them look like silly toys,
just stuff
big fat rubber dolls.
Yeah, it really reminds me of, again, I talked about this recently, but when we were reacting to all the things going to Disney Plus, and Benji the dog was one of them, and the cougar gets knocked off a cliff, and it's just this really shitty doll. There's still that, but luckily they cut away fast enough to where you don't get the full effect, but it's totally just a shitty little doll.
This makes me happy.
So then Batman and Joker get up there. Joker's able to it was when the dogs hit him, so he got over there and started pounding him on with the pipe and stuff, and he got pushed back. And what does he do to fuck up the sonar? The sonar goes offline for some reason.
He hits him in the head with a fucking pipe.
Yeah, that was it. And so he uses that then to knock him down and then pin him under some kind of guillotine kind of structure thing to pin Batman down there with his arm up here. And this is where he does the "here we go" as he washes over the boats. The boats don't explode, so he has to take his attention off of Batman. Gets out his little device, and then he also does the. Did I ever tell you how I got these scars? No, but I'll tell you how I got these ones. And he fires.
It's a great fucking line.
Out of his hand, cuts his face. Batman tosses him over the side. Then like Andy talked about earlier, shoots it down, grappling hooks his leg, very like Batman '89. Well, except he saves him this time. Brings him up, and then he hangs upside down and gives this amazing fucking speech, right? Of you and me are destined to do this forever, and I just love that so much. It's such a good, IRL, whatever you want to call it, I guess live action interpretation of Batman and Joker, right? If you're too much fun, I have no rules, you have this one rule, and this is how we're gonna do this forever. It's God, so good.
I loved the editing on this too, where we never see Joker upside down. Joker's always, he's hanging, but he's shot the right way. So when he's talking to Batman, he's just kind of swinging back and forth, but his face is right side up.
You see him upside down for a second, but as he starts talking, the camera.
While there's dialogue happening there, because it's they're equals. They're on the same point here. It's fucking awesome.
I love the last moment. I don't know if they did this on purpose or not. I don't know how close they got with the minutia of the blocking. But the last time you see him, he's laughing, he like pushes himself off or swings away, and he kind of goes out of focus for a little bit. It's so fucking creepy. It's so good.
Batman takes off as the cops get there. They apprehend Joker, but Batman's got to go worry about this Harvey Dent business. Gordon gets to where Rachel died. That's where Barbara 1, Barbara 2, and Jim 2 are all held up by Harvey.
Barbara and BJ.
Barbara, BJ, and JJ are all there. And so, he runs in, Gordon gets knocked down. Harvey's there in his Two-Face suit, full-on Two-Face suit.
I'm going to kill the person you love most in your family.
Exactly.
Oh, I can't think of it.
Is it this one? No. Leave my family. Oh, it's the son.
Okay, we got it.
Right?
Anybody but my son. Yeah, just... I forgot her name. You could
Barbara? Really? We named her Barbara? Well, that seemed like a mistake. Kill her.
And there's this whole thing like, don't take it out of me, take it on this, blah blah, yada yada yada. Batman shows up and he's like, no, Harvey, you don't have to do this. And Harvey's like, I gotta do this. And he's like, it was us three. We three made this bed, and this is, our actions led to this. We should be tried. And Harvey's like, okay. So he flips for Batman. Batman gets shot in the abs. Then he flips for himself. Harvey Dent. He comes up. He doesn't.
Ballsy move. Going for himself second. I would have definitely saved myself for last.
He's not a bad guy. He's an agent of chaos now or whatever. Mm-hmm. Then it's time to flip for Gordon's son, right? Because he does decide to kill the son or whatever. I don't know.
He's like, no, punish me. He goes, I am punishing you by killing your favorite.
Lied to him like I lied to Rachel. Yeah. He flips the coin. Batman interjects and runs over there and just pushes him off the side of the fucking building.
Yeah. Definitely kills him, right?
Oh yeah, he's
dead. Yeah.
So the whole thing about, again, that one law of his where he's like, I don't kill people. This was, again, full tool belt full of shit that he could have used. Instead, he decides to just risk the kid's life.
Shoot a grappling hook into his skull? What's his
again, he's fucking...
He has a handhold, but he's also weak because he lets go, remember? I think he might have, they don't show it, so whatever, but he might have tried to grab Harv. You know what I mean? That might have been the play.
It's not that. It's just, again, it's one of those things where I'm like, his grand plan is Batman. We've seen this guy... Remember in the climax of the last movie, he figured out how to fucking he throws the thing and the wind comes in and then he parachutes himself out of the thing. I'm like, wow, that was elegant. In this one, he's like, fuck it, just like a linebacker. I'm gonna take this dude down.
Like he's on his last legs. It seemed like that shot maybe went through a weak spot in the thing, and maybe he's shot.
when they talk about the armor, he was like, so you'll be able to turn your head, but you'll be very susceptible to knife wounds and gunshots. To which I would have replied, well, thank God the villains of Gotham don't use either of those things to attack people. Thankfully, they're just using billy clubs.
You want to be
rocks.
fast. What do you want? If you want to be fast, you got to be fast.
You got to be risking it, man. And I think that matters a lot more because when Bruce Wayne is fighting throughout this whole movie, you're not just thinking, oh, he's bulletproof. Like, it's fine. Anybody who shoots at him, he'll be totally fine. There feels like there's more risk throughout a lot of these fights.
Yeah, so but it's one of those things too. Is like, why wear the armor at all, right? If you're gonna, if a shot,
I mean, it still works. Though.
I guess it did work, but all I'm saying is I would have. This is one of those moments where I'm like, again, I feel like the blocking here is just very convenient for the storytelling. Where like we've seen him throw batarangs at fucking lights from 300 feet away and still hit spot on one after the other. Boom, boom, boom. You can't hit a guy's hand. You can't hit him in the fucking face. I don't know.
Harvey's dead. Batman's laying there. Gordon comes down. Batman's and it's the whole thing of this is he's dead and this fucking sucks, right? He went crazy. He went bad at the end here. And that's gonna ruin everything. He's gonna conviction's gonna be overturned. He's gonna ruin people's hope in Gotham. He's killed the hope of Gotham. Joker won. And Batman's like, no, he didn't. And you have to show the true face of Gotham and turns it away to be Harvey Dent's face. Like, they're martyr. They're, this man who died for the good thing. And he's like, well, what are you gonna do? There's 5 people dead. We can't wipe that off the record. He's like, well, you can put it on me though. And this is the conversation, obviously, that's iconic in speech or whatever, of just like, he can take this. Batman is, not a person. Batman is a symbol, right? And he can be whatever Gotham needs him to be. And right now, Gotham needs him to be the bad guy so that Harvey can die the good guy. And so he tells Gordon to call it in. Then he takes off running. And we get a long shot of Batman just running. and Jim Jr. comes down, JJ, and he's like, "Why is he running, Danny? We have to chase him, right, Nick? This is like your favorite thing in the world."
Oh. Why? Because he's not a hero. He's not the hero that Gotham wants. It's the hero that Gotham needs. He's our. I forget the line here, but when it ends with, just he's our fucking Dark Knight.
And then Gordon turns around.
Title screen.
title screen.
Oh, God.
He's our watchful guardian, our something, our dark knight. And then he's just going. By the way, this is the one scene where I'm like, I don't give a fuck that it makes no sense that there would just be a blaring white spotlight at the end of a tunnel where cars are going through. It's awesome. That shot of him just covering the light as he overtakes it, and it just goes wham, dum, dum, dum. Oh. God.
Marhal FC in the chat says best ending of a movie ever. I think it is, because like for a movie this damn good to end with this thing that like honestly it could have not had this. They could have just had a normal ending and it would have been like fuck, that movie was amazing. With this, it's like it is legitimately one of the best movies of all time. It is such a fucking amazing story with amazing characters, and having that end wrap it all up in a way that's like, wow, you must have had that shot in your mind to make this entire thing. Like we just got to get there in the best way possible.
He wrote this whole thing with the ending in mind. I guarantee it. And I don't even, this is how much this ending is good. You guys know I'm very nitpicky and probably annoying the chat right now. They literally reuse a scene. They reuse a shot from earlier in the movie in this, and I don't fucking care. It's still so good. The shot of him going through the traffic, which I don't know why they even put that in there, but that was a shot like when he was going to save Rachel, and it's either the same shot or they use that similar footage from that day. But man, the way it just ends, it just fucking ends.
I'm telling you, man, it's the editing, and it's Nolan and it's Hans Zimmer, and they know how to end a movie, man. Like I just immediately, when you talk about best endings ever, I think of Inception as probably like my favorite ending ever, where I am always brought to tears, not because I'm sad or I'm just hyped and the music's so good and I have all this sort of wave of emotions. But at the end of this, last night I was like, I'm crying right now, dude. Like
absolutely.
I love how it all just sort of wraps up so perfectly.
But how rad are the bad guys, Andy?
Bagu.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to a podcast within a podcast we call Rad Guys Talk Bad Guys, where we rank the villains of the Batman cinematic universe that we're using for in review. Right now, ladies and gentlemen, the Ragu Roga. That's the bad guy. Rad Guys Talk. Brad Guys Talk. The Rogues Gallery look like this: number 189, Joker. Number 2, Roz and Scarecrow from Begins. Number 3, Phantasm. Number 4, Batman Returns, Max, Penguin, and Cat. Number 5, Batman and Robin from Batman and Robin. Number 6, Batman Forever's Riddler and Two-Face. Number 7, 66, Catwoman, Riddler, Joker, and Penguin. Where do we want to rank Heath Ledger's Joker?
Number 4, right above Riddler.
Yeah.
Two-Face.
Yeah, kind of overrated.
I just didn't think he nailed the character.
Fucking
I
kidding me,
hate
dude.
you
For real,
guys. It's not funny
for real.
this way.
Like, obviously, Joker's amazing, but I love how they deal with Harvey Dent and Two-Face in this, where they kind of give him the Scarecrow treatment for me. In the end, he did everything he had to do. Sure, Two-Face could have lived, and Two-Face could have done a lot of other crazy stuff, but I love that we got enough Two-Face antics, and we're not going to get a million more of these
Two-Face
Batman
antics.
These Batman movies, right? Like we got to see an amazing villain rise and fall within one movie in a time that when I first watched this movie, I didn't know Two-Face was in this. Like it was a shock to me. Like I knew Harvey Dent was. I didn't know that he turned into Two-Face. And for them to handle it as well as they did, it is just so ridiculously impressive. And Scarecrow made a fun appearance, building out this Batman universe that I feel like
Scarecrow
so damn
makes
good.
a disappointing appearance, but it does build out the universe. And
Again, he's just relegated to selling crack on the sidewalk.
He's the last crack dealer out there. You know what I mean?
It's
and
true.
he's selling like fear toxin crack.
It's like the
good crack.
Airbender.
Yeah.
Number 1 with a bullet. Come on.
Number one.
I mean,
It's like the
the
last
plans all
Airbender.
come together. His performance is so great. Like everything's fantastic.
It's so good. It
Haiku.
makes you wish that Batman was better in the movie.
7 syllables in the middle. You need 5 for the first and last line. If you're not poetic, no need to fret it. Haikus don't need to rhyme. Haiku in review. Haiku in review.
You can go to patreon.com/kindafunny, just like Fighting Wombat did, to write your review in haiku form. Dent dies a hero. Batman is deemed a villain. Why so serious? Bria Rabbit says, how can Harvey blink? Why did a great Joker die? Batman will kill dogs? That's a question.
Fuck yeah, dude.
Yeah, he does.
That's
You gotta
his
kill a
rule.
dog once
If
in a
it's
while.
you
No
or the
killing
dog,
humans,
you gotta
dogs.
take the
They're
dog out.
every once in a while.
They put their pop around.
I gotta kill 50% of dogs as his rule.
Nick, I like you
Ignacio
committing to
Rojas.
them signing.
Nacho Rojas.
Aggressive expansion. We're in.
Nolan is not the director we deserve, but the one that we need now. Andrew Feisner says, does he have a plan with a deadly switcheroo? Joke's on you, Batman. Joke's on you. Grant Burton, those aren't hockey pads. It's a damn near perfect film. Maybe a bit long. And that's the reviews.
It's so crazy, though. It's such a long movie, but every scene is just so captivating, man.
It's very good.
So now we're about to rank the movies. But Andy, I'm right there with you with it, where it's long, but this is one of the very few examples that I'm not saying it's too long or things should have been cut. This reminds me a lot of Princess Mononoke, where it feels like a season of an amazing TV show presented in movie form, where it's so fleshed out. You don't need the previous movie to like have this stand alone as a fucking amazing movie that you kind of are told everything you need to know. But with it, it's somehow just even stronger.
Yeah.
Can you bring up the rankings, please, Kevin? Number 1, we currently have Batman Begins. Number 2, Batman 89. Number 3, Mask of the Phantasm. Number 4, Batman Returns. Number 5, Batman Forever. Number 6, Batman and Robin. Number 7, Batman 66. And number 12, Catwoman. Where do we put The Dark Knight?
Number one
with the bullet. I'll be number 1 with the bullet.
I think the only argument you could make against it being number 1 is that it's not, and I'm not making this argument, but I understand people's argument that it's not. It's more of a Joker film than a Batman film.
I would make that argument. I mean, I think The Dark Knight is a better movie. I think if the argument I always hear that I always vibe with is the Batman Begins is a better Batman movie. And I know I like to harp on the choreography a lot, but if you're not smart about how you put him on screen, he does come off looking just like a dude in a costume. And there's such a thin line between that and him actually being Batman. And I think this movie crosses over it a couple times, unfortunately. We do get a goofy running scene where we all made fun of Michael Keaton for looking goofy when he was running down the alley. We get that at the end of this a little bit. We're just so caught up in the emotion of it that it doesn't matter because the story we've just seen is so unbelievably deep and emotional. But I mean, Dark Knight is undeniably a better movie, but I enjoy Batman Begins as a Batman action film more.
Yeah, it's interesting for me because, like I said last week, Batman Begins definitely has impressed me so much, and every time I watch it, I just appreciate it more and more and more. Whereas Dark Knight, I feel like I appreciate it as much as I always have, and that's not a knock against it because I always gave it a 10 out of 10. But I still think that this is a demonstrable step up from Batman Begins, and I understand the idea of Batman himself isn't the most Batman he's ever been, but I still think this is a better Batman movie because Batman isn't the only thing that makes a Batman movie. It is the bad guys. It is what he's doing. It is the side characters, and it's the Bruce Wayne and Batman elements of it all. And I think that they commit to it. And while I agree that I enjoy seeing the Batman elements in Begins more than the bullet detective work or the sonar action scenes, it's like at least they commit to the world in this one. And it's like that is this Batman. This Batman does not need to come down from skylights. He's going to go in the nightclub and just get what he has to get done and get on the dope ass motorcycle and go away.
I think it's also worth giving appreciation to the fact that, like, especially for us watching Batman every week, right? A different Batman movie. This is the most logical thing we've seen in terms of him giving up being Batman or announcing he's Batman, right? I think we've harped on that before, where all these other movies where they're just going to shut down the cave, or he's just going to hang up being Batman, his life's crusade or whatever. The way it's forced into this, the Joker's forcing him to do it, and he's going to do it in front of everybody. Like, it makes sense for why he's trying to stop this guy that's completely unreasonable. And the actual struggle he would have is Alfred's like, persevere, press on. Batman can take this. Batman can be hated by people right now because he's more than that. I think it's a really interesting argument.
I guess going into this movie, I've always kind of been of the mind that, yes, this is more of a Joker movie, and we don't see a whole lot of Bruce Wayne. But after, like, this is similar to Batman Begins, where I hadn't seen it in a long ass time. But I was kind of surprised by as much of Bruce Wayne that we did get, with all of the with going to China to get Lau, with the detective work stuff, everything with him and Alfred. I think there was a lot more Bruce Wayne in this than I remembered because it was such a Heath Ledger vehicle. But yeah, man, I mean, this movie just kind of blows me away every time I watch it. It blows me away more and more every time I watch it. It's so well thought out and so clever. And that's one thing I love about anything that has to do with when a movie can kind of wow me in show me how clever it can be with all of Joker's kind of fuckery. I just love that stuff. And I think it's like this movie has that in all over the place. Again, like Tim mentioned, those sort of like dual planes of action stuff that happens 3 times in this movie, and it's awesome every damn time. And like Nolan's just so good at doing that shit.
So it's number 1 on the Batman list, but where does it rank on the Nolan list? Currently, number 1,
wait,
Interstellar.
So that's it. That was the vote. It's number 1.
Yeah.
Does anybody argue?
Number 1. Yeah, I'm just making sure.
I can't argue that The Dark Knight's not Batman Begins. I just like Batman Begins more as a Batman film, but come on, it's got to go number 1.
Number 1, Interstellar. Number 2, Inception. Number 3, Batman Begins. Number 4, The Prestige. Number 5, Memento. Number 6, Dunkirk. Number 7, Following. And number 8, Insomnia. I'm going to throw it out. I think this is number 1. I think that this is the best movie we've ever reviewed in review.
Whoa. You talking about Civil War in there, you know what I mean? Or what's it?
I'm sorry, did you not watch Endgame?
Endgame.
Monster?
That's what I meant to say.
Did you not watch Endgame, you monster?
Infinity War. Come on, chill out. Let's never make statements. Let's do a whole show about that.
I was gonna say for Nolan in review, I'd put it number 1 as well.
I would put it at number 2. I
love that gravity, huh?
I just love Interstellar. I love everything that movie is. I think it's so unique, and I think it's just that's more of a Nolan film. I think he did a great job with The Dark Knight, but man, when I watch Interstellar, it is so much more emotional for me on such a deeper level. And I think a lot of the science, because it is real, because he doesn't have any weird bullet magic bullshit technology in this.
But he has the love thing.
Because it is real.
Because it's rooted in some level of like real science versus that bullet, which is just complete fucking magic. And
what about the love thing? I thought you didn't like it.
Man. Listen,
it's a dimension unto itself, love.
You don't know about it. You don't even know.
It carries out
of your dog to sign up for the Joker. Put his little fucking paw print on the car and let him fucking ride lightning, man.
I mean, like, I feel like Interstellar is a phenomenal movie, but I just like this movie the whole time. It's been a little while since I've seen it, and the whole time, and I've seen it many times. It keeps me on the edge of my seat, and it's like I know what's coming next, but it still has these moments that's like. That are so good, but there's so many of them that like you'll forget some of them. Like it's this movie's some crazy kind of magic.
Yeah, I would. Fuck. I want to give extra points to Interstellar and Inception for them being these sort of like original concepts and just the thought that goes behind all the writing and the creativity that those movies have. But I think, like, as we were watching The Dark Knight last night, all I could think is, like, man, we're so lucky to have this movie. Because it's so hard to make something this special from a comic book movie. And granted, yeah, there have been, like, amazing MCU movies. I'm not trying to take away the love from those. But, like, the idea that a Batman movie can be this damn good and, you know, coming from, like, Schumacher and coming from all those other movies, like, it's a fucking special movie. And I would put this number 1.
Yeah, Andy, what you just said right now about like that Interstellar and Inception like are their own things that like don't have a previous property that they're building on. To me, that's the craziest part of it. Like we all have a vision of Batman, and this came in there, and even with like the Dark Knight comic, like this still like left us all like, whoa, it's so cool. Like certain aspects of this explore the mythos in a like fundamentally awesome way.
Yeah, it's really good, man.
So Dark Knight is now number 1. You can see the list there as follows. Next week, we will return with The Dark Knight Rises. But before then, this week, we're also doing Conjuring in review. This week, we're doing The Curse of La Llorona. Now, Nick, this is a message for you and you specifically. Okay? There's 2 La Llorona movies that came out in the same year.
Both. Yeah.
Don't watch both. Make sure you watch The Curse of La Llorona.
Which one's the one with the kids in the car?
That's the curse.
Okay, that's what I'm supposed to watch. Okay.
The other one is better though, Nick.
Okay, I'll watch them both.
I don't know if I agree. Well, you know, no future spoilers.
Oh man. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, love you guys. This has been awesome. Till next week.
Same bad time, same bad channel.